Welcome to Grosse Pointe Liggett Park. My name is Chad Bush, alongside Brandon Justice on color commentary today. Sorry for the abrupt start. We're underway. Already one strikeout by the pitcher, Kurt Barr. This is Jack Crichton, who skies one to deep right and flies out to right center. Brandon, glad you're with us here on the Preps coverage of Long Ball Live. Welcome to Grosse Pointe Liggett and St. Mary's, number 1 against number 2. Exciting times here in GP.
Yeah, absolutely. This is just a display of what we're able to watch in Michigan baseball throughout these past few years, a little bit of a renaissance for the sport in this state. And as you saw in that hit, wind is cruising out in right field today.
It is carrying deep to right, no doubt. This is Nolan Schubert, a guy that is known to get one up in the air and right. We'll set the defense for you momentarily. Already 2 outs. It's service behind home plate. This is Kurt Barr, the pitcher. He's committed to Michigan. He's a senior. His brother Preston is at third. Purifies at short. He's the best player in the class of 2023. Reggie Sharp at second. Jones at first. His brother in right field. And the inning's already over. Green in center and Randazzo in left. We'll keep it right here. And, Brandon, your thoughts on the quick first inning mowdown?
Yeah, Kurt Barr is doing exactly what Kurt Barr has done since he's been at Liggett beginning last season, and that is mix multiple looks with his fastball. He can mix in a 4-seam, a 2-seam, and a sinker. So the difficulty, and even a splitter, so the difficulty of hitting that pitch and all of those pitches is how well he funnels them, and it's at a high level. And then he comes across with a secondary breaker that works for him as well. So Michigan obviously identifying that and seeing how that'll work at the next level and playing against the batters that Orchard Lake has, success here.
He saw it in the first inning. This is a Brock Porter outing. This will be his 3rd outing of the year as he toes the rubber for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Obviously a guy that gets a lot of hype, a lot of run. And this is the lineup that will face him. Purify to lead things off at shortstop. Sharp is at second. He'll bat second in the order. Matthew Green, the center fielder, will bat third. Jones in right field. Oliver Service is catching, and he'll bat 5th. Kurt Barr will pitch and bat 6th. Jones is at first base and batting 7th. Barr is at third base. That's Preston Barr, the brother of the starting pitcher. And Joey Randazzo's in left field under Dan Samini in his 18th season at Liggett. And what a run it's been for him. 4 state titles since he's been there, second most in the state. And this is the defense behind Brock Porter. Ike Irish, the catcher. Jack Crichton at third. Jason Oliver at short. McKay at second. Grimmer, the transfer, at first. It'll be Ryan Mooney in left. Jake Dresselhaus in center. And Nolan Schubert in right field. Chad Bush and Brandon Justice with you from Grosse Pointe Park and Liggett Field. Your thoughts here on this Brock Porter outing and what Porter's been able to do so far this year has been impressive.
I mean, what he's been able to do in his whole career at Orchard Lake has been impressive. He is an anomaly, I believe, when it comes to arms in Michigan as a whole over the past decade. He's a guy who may very well find his way to the top of the MLB draft in the first 10 to 15 picks. But he's got a challenge here, probably the best lineup he will face all season. And it'll be a great challenge for him and for these batters. And just like that, he hits the first one.
He hits Jaron Purify to lead things off. Porter has not been exactly perfect this year, but he's been pretty darn good. How about 2 no-hitters? A 4-inning outing in his first. You look at it, the Clemson commit, right-handed pitcher. 1 win this year, no losses, 10 innings pitched coming off a no-hitter against Brother Rice. Had just 1 walk that ruined the perfect game. And, yeah, one of the best fastballs in baseball. It has reached triple digits so far, and he will sit 96, 97. I mean, it's a guy that can really hum it in there. It's a special arm.
Yeah, don't blink. And what we don't talk about enough in baseball is a guy like this who's going up against a team that has seen this velocity in the summer stages. He's got his best pitch as his changeup, and I think that's what we're going to see work today because it is lethal. It is high level. I believe it's a 70 grade on his draft prospect profile. And it is. It might be even better. And I think we'll see it work today.
Reggie Sharp is the sophomore second baseman. He's committed to Michigan as well. He's one of the best sophomores in the state of Michigan. Purify, the highest rated junior. He has a nice size lead against Porter. There's a tapper foul. Dan Cimini with soft hands. He's the former center fielder at Grosse Pointe South, and he's showing off now.
Yeah, Reggie Sharp's got incredible bat-to-ball skills, just a natural at the plate, able to really find gaps pretty much seemingly all the time, almost every game.
Slight in size, but this is a very impactful hitter. Not going to purify. That pitch is inside, nearly nipped Reg. And right now, Brock's control. He walked 4 in his first outing, Brandon. He did walk just 1 against Rice, but weather conditions is a challenge here today.
And these Liggett batters are not afraid of it. Standing in the box, strong.
Here comes the 1-2, runner not going, grounded to third. Up with it, Crichton throws to second for 1. The relay, no chance. But they do get the lead runner, the very dangerous and speedy Purify. And there's 1 out in the Liggett first.
Yeah, Reggie Sharp was not going to let himself ground into a double play. Speedy guy, and the way he plays the game, what we just saw. He's sliding into first base, head first in the first inning. That's no surprise.
No, sir. So a runner at first, 1 out, and that'll bring up the number 3 hitter in the lineup for Dan Cimini as we get a replay of the soft hands from Crichton, the throw down to Minnie, and no chance you're getting him at first, but it's a big lead out.
Absolutely.
There's the off-speed pitch taken low. This is a big bat in the lineup for Dan Cimini. This is Matthew Green, the center fielder.
Yeah, Matthew Green played for me last summer. Tremendous kid and a phenomenal hitter. He just finds gaps regularly.
There goes Sharp. The throw from Irish is not in time. And this is what Liggett does. The Knights want to run all day, and they've got a runner in scoring position.
Looks like they're going to move him back.
And they're going to move him back. What happened here?
Looks like batter's interference. They're going to call him out as well.
Wow. So Matthew Green is out, and the officials, the umpires are going to come together and talk here. And we'll try to get another look in a minute, but what do you think happened here?
It looks like they are trying to say Matthew Green obstructed the throw for Ike Irish behind the plate. I believe that Matt Green was protecting the runner, which is what we teach. He stood strong in the box, and it looks like this is going to get reversed back.
So they are going to keep Sharp off. So 2 outs.
So they're set. Okay.
They're sending him back.
So the runner is out. The batter will stay.
All right. It's all figured out. So the bases are empty. There's 2 outs. There's still no hits. Brock Porter has yet to give up a hit in 2022. The commit to Clemson and the potential top 10 pick, top 20 pick, first-round pick, I think is a fair estimation if you were to put a number out there.
Yeah, I think 10 to 15, maybe lower. It's very volatile. It changes week by week, it seems. Of course, Brian Sikowski from Perfect Game is always all over that and always has that information out there, former Orchard Lake assistant coach. But, yeah, I think it's safe to say he'll end up there.
Strike 3 called. Out on strikes. That's the slider from Porter, and it ends the Knights' first inning. They do get a runner on via a walk, but the side is retired. So after 1 inning of play, no hits, no runs, we're coming back to the Eagle at top of the second. We are the Prep.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player, and I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Core bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, took my advice, trying to figure out what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had, it's really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB Core bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB Core bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB Core bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit belows and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB Core bats. Yeah, just overall, it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use it. Yeah, super excited.
Irish, McKay, and Grimmer to lead things off against Kurt Barr. Kurt Barr, the 6'3" right-hander committed to Michigan, against the left-hander Ike Irish committed to Auburn. And the first offering is well outside. And we take a look at the Liggett defense. Purify at short, Barr at third, Randazzo in left, Green in center, Sharp at second, Jones in right, Jones at first, and Service behind home plate against Kurt Barr, the senior right-hander. Swing and a miss. Ike Irish's numbers are gaudy for St. Mary's. He leads them in batting average at .588. He leads them in home runs at 7. That's also the best in the state of Michigan. And he has 17 runs driven in. This is another guy that's thought of as a first-round pick potentially. And he lifts one foul out of play.
Ike Irish has 7 more home runs this season than I had my entire career.
And that career was where, for the fans that don't know?
Trenton. Played at Trenton under Coach Zalka, who's still there.
All right.
And at Wyandotte now, coaching with Coach Brian Kottner. So downriver guy through and through.
Love it. Here comes the 1-2. It's outside. It'll level the count at 2 apiece. No runs, no hits, and no errors as you get a look at the St. Mary's lineup. We're in the middle of it now. Irish fourth, McKay in the on-deck circle, the ever-dangerous Minnie McKay, followed by Grimmer, the Tennessee commit, Jason Oliver, the Michigan commit at short, Parker Brustevich in the DH spot today. This one's lifted high and deep to left, way back to the track, coming back, and it's going to be dropped in left field. Dropped by Randazzo. The throw to second not in time, and Ike Irish is in with a hit, maybe an error. That'll be determined here shortly.
We are seeing the elements play a role here early. The wind gusting and twirling. It's been a theme, and it usually is a theme throughout the year. It looks like, just a misread there, lost it towards the end. Almost looks like when a catcher has to catch a pop fly behind the plate in a regular, more fair weather game, and you have that last little tail. Looks like it got him there. But tough play to make out here. The wind is, as we know, gusting. Yeah,
Randazzo's a good left fielder. The wind is playing major tricks today. The gusts are up to 19 miles an hour. It's 42 degrees, the sun trying to peek out, but it's been a grim day for baseball here in the Midwest. But we're here anyway. We're here to serve at the Prep. This is Ryan Minnie McKay, the Michigan State commit. Grimmer in the on-deck circle. St. Mary's on via a leadoff. We don't know. Maybe an error, maybe a hit. TBD. The set by Kurt Barr in the pitch. Swinging a number that's going to roll foul. It's touched by Preston. And there's nobody out for St. Mary's here in the top of the second, no score.
Backwards approach there with Ryan McKay, who's got as good of natural bat-to-ball skills as anyone in the state, especially in his class. Nice curveball there, looking for the front foot, and it worked. Like you said, a little nibbler down the line there. Ryan McKay thrives in these situations. We saw it last year in the CHSL final. We had that long at-bat to survive and give Orchard Lake St. Mary's a chance to beat Brother Rice in that 6th game and final in the CHSL championship.
Kurt Barr, the senior, committed to Michigan. A win on the year, 8 innings pitched, 12 Ks, no earned runs. It's a fastball that gets up to 90 with that 2,300 spin rate, whatever that means. Lifted foul out of play. What does that mean, Mr. Smarty Pants Baseball?
So your spin rate is how the ball approaches the plate and how much it's spinning revolutions per minute. Higher spin rate, the better. It just means the ball is going to, as you could probably gather, spin more. And more spin is better. And, Brock Porter is a guy whose fastball spin rate, I wouldn't even want to know what it is. It would probably somewhere it has to be north of 22 to 2,500, which is well above average for his age, much like the rest of his arsenal is well above average for his age.
St. Mary's has won 31 straight games dating back to last year. Edging off a second is Irish. Nobody out. The pitch is upstairs. And it's 1-2 to Ryan Minnie McKay, having a fantastic year, batting an even .500 entering competition with 7 runs driven in.
You'll see his two-strike approach here shine a little bit, shorten his stride some, and try to prioritize putting the ball in play. He knows with the guy in scoring position, he's got to drive him in here.
Grounds it right side. handled by Reggie Sharp. Runner advances to third. There's a runner at third with one out. McKay accomplish something there.
Right. And, you're just trying to move the runner over at that point. You're in a tough count. You're in a 1-2 count. I believe your average at that point has to be somewhere around 180 to 220 at best in a count like that. And he knows the priority is to move that runner over with no outs in the inning. And now he's going to put a guy like Blake Grimmer, who would probably be a middle-of-the-order guy anywhere else in the state, up with a guy on third in a very substantial moment here in the game.
Infield is in at the corners, level. Something's hit hard up the middle. There's a breaking ball that just misses. Kurt Barr has a fine off-speed pitch, and we saw it there, just misses.
And he wants to approach these guys backwards, and it's no secret as to why. They're fastball hitters. They're advanced hitters, so they're probably going to hit both.
This one is laced to left center field. This one's trouble. This one's going to get off the wall. In 325, into score comes Ike Irish. It's a 2-out base hit to left center, and Grimmer is just driven in his 14th run of the year. It's 1-0 St. Mary's.
And that's the problem when you face an Orchard Lake lineup like this, is if you put yourself in a 1-0 count and you start off with off-speed, they're going to sit on a fastball. And that's exactly what Grimmer just did. Barr came with the curveball to start the count, missed it, sat on the fastball, got it on the outer half, and drove it to left center and drove in the run by doing so and put him back on second. So nice piece of hitting there by Blake Grimmer.
Sure was. He's shown the ability to go the other way. He's shown the ability to pull the ball. So this will bring up Parker Brustevich, who's popped it up. Kurt Barr says, I can handle it myself. Jones says, no, you won't. And there's 2 outs with a runner at second, an aggressive approach. That's Jason Oliver, not Parker Brustevich. Apologize for that. Now here comes Parker Brustevich.
Yeah, Oliver saw something there in the lower side near the low end of the zone and thought he could get through it and just under it. Parker Brustevich is a guy here who's similar to Minnie, where he's going to drive the ball to gaps and give you a chance here with a guy on second and 2 outs. He's a great 2-out hitter.
He's a great two-way player as well. That one is fouled off the helmet of the catcher, Oliver Service. 1-0 St. Mary's. They got their run on a 2-out hit from Blake Grimmer, the Tennessee commit, and the first-year participant in MHSAA baseball. He is a junior.
See what he does here. He likes to mix up the fastballs. He'll come with a 4-seam, 2-seam, and a sinker. So we'll see which one he funnels here after that first one.
Pitch 21 coming up from Kurt Barr, who's had to work a bit here in the second. This one is flown to right. This should be playable. Jones is under it, makes the catch, and that's the final out, and the side retired. So a runner stranded, but a run scores, and it's 1-0 St. Mary's as we go to the home half of the second here on the Prep.
Begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all. And from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag G-Brand USA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Ah, yes, fans piling in at Liggett Park. Faithful, 42 degrees, feels colder. He's Brandon Justice. My name is Chad Bush. You look at the impact players for the Knights: Purify, Barr, Jones, Sharp. All these guys just very impressive, this roster that's been assembled here for these Knights. Your thoughts on their impact players?
All going to the Big Ten, and for good reason. Purify and Sharp will probably shore up Michigan's middle at some point in the next couple of years, and Jack Jones and Kurt Barr will surely have some pitching duels when there's an in-state game between Michigan and Michigan State. Michigan getting the sweep over the weekend.
Yeah, they got the sweep, huh? Good point. Michigan got the sweep. Didn't they play one of those games in a neutral site?
I believe one of those games was at the Lugnut Stadium.
Yeah.
Beautiful park.
Swing and a miss. It's some cheddar on the outside corner. Pat the Stat has the gun ablazing. Is your hand on fire? 92? Okay. Thank you. This is Jones. He cuts and misses, and another strikeout for number 10, Brock Porter. That's his 5th strikeout of the day.
Yeah, Brock saw how behind he was in that previous pitch and just came back with it more elevated, changing his eye levels, and that's nearly impossible to hit when you're out of it at that point.
95 miles an hour, says Pat Bush, your official radar operator. There's a slider that misses upstairs. This is number 13.
Serve it up. Serve it up.
Who is this here?
Oliver Service here, Texas commit, recently committed over the winter to the Longhorns. Catcher, plays outfield. You don't hear that too often. Extremely versatile player. Good at the plate, has a lot of power in that bat. Might be sitting fastball here after that slider missed first pitch.
The sunshine coming out. Swing and a miss. Half-hearted. The slider got him. And Brock has another strikeout. I apologize. He did not have 5 strikeouts. I misunderstood my official score. But nonetheless, the sharpness of the slider's been impressive early, and the fastball's been adding some velo as we go on.
Yeah, and you know what? I thought he missed the slider, but he must have called it a strike because the next pitch was strike 3. So no surprise to see him come back. But that's the power of Brock Porter. The previous batter saw 2 straight fastballs and went sitting, and then the next guy sees 2 sliders. It's hard to beat that.
It is hard to beat it. Porter is nearing 12 innings pitched now, has yet to give up a hit this season. There's a slider that's nasty, and it ends the second. Hot knife through butter. Porter through the Liggett lineup. And we go to the top half of the third here on Long Ball Live. He's Brandon Justice. My name is Chad Bush. We'll keep it right here at Liggett Park. Alex Westfall, your executive producer. We want to thank our new sponsor, G-Brand. G-Brand delivering on service, delivering on efficiency. And Brian Metallic, we will talk to in between games, but he has come all the way down here and given us, we got to get a picture of these. Where's Ferris? These hats that Brian produced in about, 3 hours, came down here. I mean, these hats are so fresh. Ferris, we got to get these up on our social. The service that Brian and the fine folks at G-Brand, our new partners in apparel. And so thank you, Brian. Thank you for this. These are wonderful hats. And we'll continue to wear your brand with pride. And you saw their nice video commercial in between innings. Now then, St. Mary's leads at 1-0 on 1 hit. Brandon, your thoughts so far on what's gone down in this game through 2 full innings?
Well, I'll tell you what, it's about what we expected out of Brock Porter. Doing Brock Porter things, hasn't allowed a hit so far this season. Wouldn't be shocked if we see that continue here for the next couple of innings at least. And then on the other side, Kurt Barr, just a victim of one bad pitch to Blake Grimmer. Great Blake Grimmer, like I said, is a guy that belongs in the middle of an order in pretty much every other program in the state. They're lucky enough to have him in the 7-hole and be able to follow up a missed slider with a fastball he was sitting on and got them their, the 1 run they have here. I'll be interested to see what St. Mary's brings to the table second time around.
Yeah.
And we'll see what Kurt Barr has in store for those guys as well.
Barr has not been shabby himself. Through 21 pitches, he's given up just the 1 hit. The double off the wall, the 2-out run scoring double from Grimmer. Okay, here comes Ryan Mooney. Ryan's the number 9 hitter. He's committed to Notre Dame. There's an off-speed pitch over for a strike from Kurt Barr, the blonde-haired, lanky right-hander. As you look at the impact players for St. Mary's, Ryan Minnie McKay, Ike Irish, Jack Crichton, Blake Grimmer, all a big part of the top of the lineup. There's a pop-up to shallow right field. Ryan Jones avoids the sun, circles the ball, and makes the catch for out number 1.
Just under it there. Again, tough count. And that's the game you play in the Catholic League, and with the 1-1 counts. One pitch and you could find yourself in a 1-2 count. That's a hard place to be when you have high-level arms in the mound like we have today between Barr and Porter.
It makes you more aggressive as a hitter. Is that fair to say in the Catholic League?
Yeah, absolutely. You almost have to make yourself be because you watch one and you're in that count.
Do you teach or coach kids differently in games like this, or do you always just give them the same approach? Like, and I know you. I don't know if you've taught or coached rather at a Catholic League school, but how do you adjust to that as a coach?
Yeah, I haven't coached at a Catholic League school. In a game like this, though, where the stakes are high and you have all this, you see how many people are here we saw on the camera. You just have to be calm, cool, and collected. Baseball's a long game. You could get up to a huge lead in the first inning, but it does not matter if that lead is erased before the 7th, and there's so much time between point A and point B for that to happen. So just keep your guys calm, cool, and collected. Keep their head where their feet are. That's really the message I always try to give, is just keep your head where your feet are.
Yeah, and I can understand that. Keeping the same approach. Keep things consistent. Makes sense to me.
Yeah, these 1-1 counts, though, you're right. The aggressiveness has to be there. It has to be a mindset, though. If you go up there with the mindset to hit and you see bad pitches, you're more prone to not swinging at them. Whereas if you go up there looking for a walk and you get dotted a couple of times and, you turn around, you're heading back to the dugout.
Yeah. Here's Dresselhaus, or rather Ryan Mooney. Wait a minute, that's Jack Crichton. Down to second after the service pass ball. So now we get a timeout call. Dan Cimini out in this windy conditioned baseball game. Conditions up to 19-mile-an-hour gusts. Temperatures are going to be in the 30s here shortly if they're not already. If you're a pitcher right now, what's the message? What's Dan Cimini going to tell you that's going to help right now to settle in?
You just got to keep guys off balance. You're not going to get bats at full capacity today. You're not going to have barrels as hard as they're going to be hit in June. So you can trust in that and pitch to contact. Liggett plays very clean defense. They always have. That's the Cimini way, is to every pitch. That's what he says. Everything counts. And he's right. It does. So that's probably the message he's giving, is to play clean and make things happen. That's the only way that this Liggett team can beat Orchard Lake, is by playing them like they play anyone else, pitching to contact, and allowing them to hit the ball, but cutting their losses in doing so, right?
Yeah.
And they've done that so far, really, besides the Grimmer hit, but the error out in left field has been their demise so far. And I think that's probably the message he's sending, is to continue playing mistake-free baseball from this point on.
Makes sense. Dresselhaus runs well. He's off the bag at second. Purify sneaks behind. Crichton swings and misses. And so now this counts even at 1-1. And a big run out there at second base. Kurt Barr trying to get something done against Jack Crichton.
That's the difficulty of hitting Barr, as he's got, like I said, those 2 or 3 different kinds of fastballs. So Crichton probably saw something there out over the outer part of the plate that he thought might have broken into his barrel, but he comes with the breaker and it breaks across the box, and that's why it made him look a little silly there.
542 is what Crichton came in batting, second best on this club, and the top run scorer on this team at 18. He has 2 home runs.
Just a barrel finder. It's every year we've watched him. He's just a barrel finder in any count and in any setting, and his upside and his projectability is really through the roof. You look at the body.
Yeah.
And you mentioned it a couple broadcasts ago. It's starting to fill out, but you emphasize starting. By the time he's at Michigan for a year or so, I think you're really going to see one of the Big Ten's best hitters in this kid. And just the frame and the natural bat-to-ball ability, the bat speed, the ability to get the ball through the zone, or the barrel through the zone, is really next level. And I think as his body fills out, we'll see him really take some strides.
He's proven it every year. First or second most of the year last year, and average. And swings and misses here. Down on strikes. Barr with another K. And so a big 2 outs with a runner still at second. But things aren't over. Here comes Schubert.
Well, here's what's happening here. Catcher and pitcher meeting because they believe Orchard Lake is seeing some signs here, and they're trying to mix it up. This is just a classic thing in baseball. It happens every single game. The pitcher and catcher have a set of signs, and they mixed them up there. So looks like they lucked out because usually getting crossed up doesn't end up that pretty. Worked out well there. But you could see Barr attacking the outside there with Crichton and with the off speed, and it worked for him back-to-back pitches.
3 strikeouts now for Barr, and here comes Nolan Schubert, the Michigan commit. That one's outside the zone. Schubert struck out his first time up back in the first inning.
Just a presence in the box. I was never a pitcher, Chad. But if I were to ever be one, this would not be the guy I want to pitch against.
First base is open, but Ike Irish looms in the on-deck circle as well. And that one's well outside the zone. And Barr does not look interested in Schubert, but there's nowhere to hide really in this St. Mary's lineup. Barr's been sharp today against it. He's walked just 1. He struck out 3. Dresselhaus on second, and he's not going to pitch to Nolan Schubert. Schubert had a big day against Liggett last year here against St. Mary's. Extra base hits, I believe 3 in the doubleheader against Liggett in that game. And here comes Ike Irish.
And like you said, nowhere to hide in this lineup. Ike Irish, a great example of it. Going from Schubert to Irish is almost a crime. Two of probably the two best lefty sticks probably in the state here, Schubert and Irish. Both MLB draft guys as well. That might end up taking that step next year. And even if not, they're going to end up playing Power 5 baseball.
Popped him up. Barr is called off by Purify, and this inning is over. Liggett gets out of it. After the Dresselhaus leadoff double, he's stranded, and St. Mary's is out in the third. We go to the home half of the third, 1-0 Eaglets.
This is Adam, take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Brock Porter taking his warm-up tosses. He's been perfect this year. Now, without giving up hits, St. Mary's has been perfect this year, 9-0. And you see the latest national rankings from about a week ago, but this is the latest rankings from Collegiate Baseball Newspaper. St. Mary's 1, Stoneman Douglas 2, Summerall, Barbie in Louisiana, Rockwall Heath, yada, yada, yada. Your thoughts on this top 10 put out by this publication?
It says it all. You see a Michigan high school baseball team with a bunch of players who are all from Michigan at the top. So say what you will about what St. Mary's has done and what they've built here as a program. It's undeniable, and I think that the fact that all these kids are from our state and that they can sit at the top of the throne in the country says enough about what they've done here, and it's pretty spectacular.
We're swinging a miss. This is Jones, the batter, and this is one of the Jones brothers.
This is Ryan Jones, catcher, first baseman. I believe he's might be playing right field today.
Yeah, he was a catcher for parts of last year, and this is a smart kid too. He's out on strikes here though. That's another strikeout. for Brock Porter, who has thrown his 18th pitch. He's been very efficient today, and he's just collected his 5th strikeout through 2 1/3. Here comes Preston Jones, the batter.
Look for anything.
Preston Barr, the batter. Pardon me. There's a line shot right field, and that one is foul.
Yeah.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Barr did a nice job staying on plane there, and when you're trying to stay on plane, you're trying to get the barrel into the zone as early as possible. Gives you some forgiveness on your timing, and that's what we saw there. It was a solid barrel. You know, he's too late, and that's why it went foul, but a centimeter forward there, and he might have found his way on the first base with a single.
I need some forgiveness on his name. Called him Jones. There's 2 Jones brothers and 2 Barr brothers. This is Preston Barr, and he's committed to Michigan. He's at third base today, and he's batting 8th in the lineup.
I just committed there over the winter. I believe it was in February, joining his brother. And Michigan, no stranger to keeping things in the family. Or at Liggett. I believe 5 of them now.
There's a pitch that's down low, so that's a walk. And for Porter, that's his 2nd walk of the game, or his 1st walk of the game. And there goes the perfect game. He did walk just 1 in his last outing against Brother Rice, where he was fabulous. He went 6 innings and had the 9 strikeouts and just the 1 walk.
Coach Cimini's going to try and do something here. This is classic Cimini ball, whether it's a bunt or a hit and run. We'll see something. It looked like an attempted bunt.
This is Joey Randazzo. Randazzo, the left fielder, who had a tough time in the wind-blown double by Ike Irish. His brother played at Grosse Pointe North. Did he not?
He did. Yep, he did. A divided home.
Divided home. Well,
not literally, but by going to different schools.
That, sure, right.
Not to be confused. Not to be confused.
There's a foul ball down the left field line, and that is wind blown all over the place.
It was a good little sequence there by Coach Cimini. Calls the bunt, lucks out because it missed. Calls off the bunts, knowing that Porter's probably going to try and get a fastball across, and allows Randazzo to try to get his barrel through it. Shockingly, Randazzo was early on Brock Porter, which you don't see too often.
No, we've seen his fastball up to 95 today, says Pat the Stat. The change is sitting around 84. The curve we've seen at 86. Here comes the 1-1. It's bunted right back to Brock. He'll have one play. That's to first. The runner, Barr, advances to second. And there's a runner at second now with 2 outs. And that'll flip the lineup to the top. And here comes Jaron Purify.
How about trusting your 9-hitter with a 2-2 count to put a bunt down? That's classic Dan Cimini ball right there. That's how they're taught. This team probably bunts as good as any team in America. That's Dan Cimini's Liggett right there.
Well, and that's a way to play, because part of it is just getting the ball in play and forcing plays like that, especially when there's been cold and wet turf. There was ice here this morning.
Right.
Who knows?
Here's the game. Now you got your leadoff guy, Jaron Purify. He's your centerpiece, and that's what Dan Cimini saw there. He saw a game within a game, saw a bunt moving, some speed to second base, and his leadoff guy coming up to hopefully clean it up. We'll see here, 1-2 count.
This is one of the best players in the state, one of the best players in the country. Jaron Purify, the shortstop. Runner on second, the tying run. And that one's grounded sharply through the hole on left. Rounding third, headed home is Barr. The throw to the plate, and he is in there in time. Liggett is tied it at 1. On the Purify, 2 out, base hit to left. And we are tied here in the third.
And that's just how he drew it up. Coach Cimini knew what he was trying to do there, and pass or fail, he was going to do it, and he passed. He trusted Purify to come up with 2 outs, trusted Joey Randazzo with 2 strikes, and you instill that confidence in your players. Good things typically happen. So, who else but Jaron Purify to tie this game up? And we got a ball game.
We do. It was a fine throw from Mooney and left.
First
and Irish with a
year.
fine tag, and just a good slide and a good baseball play. The first hit of the year. Good call. Given up by Brock Porter.
Come on, Red. So what? Come on, Reggie.
And we are even. 1 run, 1 hit. No errors for St. Mary's. 1 run, 1 hit, and 1 error.
Reggie, look for anything.
Just under the glove of Crichton there on that Purify hit.
If that's at St. Mary's or that's on natural turf, I don't think that gets through. Swing and a miss. And a hot fastball by Porter. Strikeout number 6 for Brock, but not before. The Knights tie it at 1 on the 2-out base hit by Purify. We go to the top half of the 4th. We got a ball game at Liggett Field. This is the Prep.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player. And I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Core bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, took my advice, trying to figure out what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had, it's really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB Core bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB Core bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB Core bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit velos and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB Core bats. Yeah, just overall, it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use it. Yeah, super excited.
So here's Ryan McKay to start things for St. Mary's. It'll be McKay, Grimmer, and Oliver due up in the St. Mary's top of the 4th. Liggett is tied in the 3rd, a big 2-out hit.
See Minnie McKay get his foot down early here and see what he can do with it. It's typically his 2-strike approach.
Set up here, out of play.
This kid's he's a grinder. He's a scrapper. He's going to fight in every count. He's never down in any count. Unique approach at the plate. You don't see too often out of kids his age. Just has an ability to know when he needs to fight it off and when he can swing through it and put it there. So we'll see what Minnie does here.
He's really improved too in his strength and his build. Swing and a miss. Barr continues to blaze through the Eaglet lineup. That's his 5th strikeout and a big one to start the 4th here at Liggett Field.
Yeah, that was a pitch high and outside as a lefty or a righty. Any high and outside fastball is tough to hit. We've seen Barr mix in so many different pitches. As we've mentioned, the arsenal is 4 or 5 deep. So it's hard to predict what you're going to see there. Elevating the eye levels after going on the inner part of the plate to start the at-bat worked. But Grimmer's going to turn on that one.
There's a swing and a drive deep to right. Jones looks up, and that one is gone. Grimmer has done it. A bomb to right, and this game is unleveled just like that. And for the Tennessee commit, that's his 4th of the year. It's 2-1, St. Mary's.
Blake Grimmer, both RBIs so far today. Kurt Barr hung a slider there, and Blake Grimmer punished him for it. And that pitch just hung out across the plate too long, ended up in the middle of the zone. We'll see here. Yep. Smooth as ever. You know, he's got that little bit of a trigger in his step and stride before the pitch. Was able to turn on it. Really gets his hips through the zone well. And able to load him up and coil up well because of that that step he uses. And we've seen it work for him pretty well this year with the amount of home runs he has.
Yes. There's a line shot to right, and that is a sinking liner that's down. Knocked down by Ryan Jones. They'll score a base hit for Jason Oliver, and the Eaglets keep attacking Mr. Jones in right field.
Jason Oliver always has an aggressive approach at the plate. We saw him swing first pitch in his last at-bat today. He did the same thing there. See what he does here. Yep, goes the other way, finds a barrel. We talked earlier about getting your barrel in the zone as early as you can to give some forgiveness on timing. Looked like Oliver was late there, but because of the ability he has to stay on plane, he was all right. Ends up at first base with the line drive.
And a fine job by Ryan Jones to knock that down. If that gets beyond him and he gambles and misses, that's a three-bagger instead of a base hit.
Yeah, it was a fine defensive play. You know, it's a game of inches, as we say. A couple centimeters below. He might have caught that.
Yep. The home run by Grimmer is St. Mary's 23rd on the year. They have 23 home runs in 9.5 games so far. Good-sized lead for Oliver, who runs well, and Parker is nipped on the jersey. So a hit by pitch, and what has been a disastrous fourth inning for Barr, his second and third times through this roster.
Yeah, and he started off hot in this inning with a strikeout in Minnie McKay, who is not a strikeout guy. One strikeout in 30 games last summer. And here we are, first and second with one out. Tremendous jump there by Jason Oliver. He was swiping second regardless of the outcome there.
Yeah, he was.
But here we go. Here we go. Ryan Mooney comes up. A lot of speed out of the box. I believe he's the fastest kid on this team. I don't think that would be a wrong assumption. He's one of the fastest kids in the state.
Yes, he is. Long, lanky, still filling out, and he's going to watch one go wide of the zone. Ryan committed to Notre Dame. Notre Dame played his brother's team, Alex Mooney, over the weekend. Alex had a big series against the Fighting Irish.
Seems to be
leadoff.
a theme. Seems to be a theme for Alex, huh?
It does. It just since he was born. Doing great things. 2 men on, 1 man out, 1 man in on the Grimmer home run. There's a service pass ball. He can't find it. And Jason Oliver's just going to keep running, and he'll score standing up. Aggressive at the dish and aggressive on the base paths. You called it. St. Mary's leads 3-1 on the pass ball, and Oliver aggressiveness on the base pass.
One thing you can't have in baseball in any facet, hitting, fielding, base running, is hesitation. And there's no hesitation here from Jason Oliver. Watch him here. He's going to round third, and he's just going to take it. He knows right there's no hesitation there. And he has the instincts to stop and turn if it has to happen. But the pressure that he puts on the defense by rounding hard is enough.
Yep.
He's going to hit another here.
Mooney is hit by a pitch. Barr is starting to unravel here in the fourth. So the runner at third is Brustevich. The batting order flips to the top. Here comes Jake Dresselhaus, who homered 14 times last year to lead the state of Michigan. And he'll get some words from Matt Petrie, the 12th-year head coach for Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
This is the guy you want up right now because even if you're on the ground, Dress is probably going to run it out. He's not a guy that's going to ground into many double plays. He's got a foot speed out of the box at the top of the order here for St. Mary's. And then he's got all the other things you mentioned, the home runs, the defense. The list goes on with Jake Dresselhaus.
The set by Barr, runners at the corners. There goes the runner. It's a safety squeeze bunt. It's going to drive in the run. Out is recorded at first, but Brustevich is in to score. It's the third run of the inning for the Eaglets, and it's 4-1 OLSM with one out here in the fourth.
Look at Matt Petrie playing a little small ball there. That was a beautiful bunt there by Jake Dresselhaus. Ball got elevated, finding that barrel there to square it down. We'll see it again here on replay.
Not an easy one to handle either.
No, high and in, that's a tough one. Ability to move the barrel was substantial there. That's just catching it, right? You tell the kids, just catch it. Don't stab at it, just catch it. That's a good example of it.
Easier said than done when it's coming in at 88, but I know you can do it. You've proven that, and you can teach it too.
Right.
You get a look at Matt Petrie, the 12th-year head coach for St. Mary's, the former Brother Rice grad. He swept the Warriors a couple weeks ago. Or last week, rather. There's a sharp grounder to third. Handled by Preston Barr, but dropped, and everybody's safe. So runners still at the corners with 2 outs, and the defense now starting to fall asleep on Mr. Kurt Barr.
Yeah, again, aggressiveness on the base path will put pressure on the defense, and pressure on the defense will cause errors, and they will force you to make plays like that where Preston Barr had to check Ryan Mooney there at second base. And, that's something that you're able to do with 2 outs. You probably should just get rid of this. Might have been a mistake even on Ryan's part to be running in that situation, but
yeah, that's right.
It all worked out. But anyway, either way, that aggressiveness and that speed it's pressure.
There goes the runner again. Service will eat it, and it's runners at second and third with 2 outs, and St. Mary's in this 3-run fourth could really blow this thing open with Schubert, who's shown to be profitable in this park.
You'll see Schubert move his hips around a bit here in the box, just preparing him to trigger through the zone here. It's a beautiful piece of hitting there that Nolan Schubert's able to do. Just little things, right? You watch these guys who are at this level, you see the little things they do, and you watch him do this little, maybe he'll do it here again, a little shimmy in the hip. There it is, a little shimmy in the hips, and he's just getting it ready to fire through the zone on a swing, and it's little things like that that make Schubert who he is as a hitter.
3 home runs on the year, and he walks here. It's the second time he's walked today, and that will bring up the catcher, Ike Irish, and we'll see some stirring in the Liggett bullpen as they'll continue to get somebody up. And Ike Irish with the bases loaded now struts to the plate. Already a hit in this game.
If there was a list of guys you want to see up to the plate with bases loaded, this guy would rank last. Ike Irish has punished baseballs all year and all of his career. See, it's either Auburn or the MLB for Ike Irish. Either way, he's going to be all right.
Sure has. You see Blake Illich in the bullpen, the freshman. I know you like him a lot.
Yeah, Blake Illich's heavy fastball. The body projects really well to continue to throw heavy as he gets older. He was a guy that had a lot of buzz coming out of this will be funny, middle school. A lot of buzz coming out of middle school, right?
That's social media nowadays, though. That's kids, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I might even qualify into that still.
Well,
at
you
this
should.
point.
That's all right. Well, that's all right. I think the publicity and the awareness starts early.
Right. Absolutely.
Barr is now at 57 pitches as the Eaglets' leading hitter awaits a bases-loaded 1-1 pitch. 7 home runs on the year. And now he's got the count in his favor. It's full with 2 outs. Runners will be on the trot.
Barr having a tough time wanting to pitch to Ike Irish, but unfortunately he has no choice but to at this point. But, hey, you walk in, you sacrifice one run, you throw a fastball to him down the middle, you might sacrifice 4. We'll see.
Runners on the move. The pitch is upstairs, and it's an RBI, and it's the 4th run of the inning for St. Mary's. It's 5-1 OLSM, and there's still just 2 outs here in the 4th. We'll get a courtesy runner. Ike Irish will take a seat. And into the game comes number 24. That's Aiden Donovan, a guy that we'll see pitching for the Eaglets this year, as well as pinch running.
McKay here all over the inside part of the plate. Outside pitch might drive it here. Got attacked there last step. There it is again. So it looks like Minnie's picking up on Barr's approach here. He's attacking the outside part of the plate on McKay. At this point, with the 2-1 count and the situation he's in, though, he might just have to force something here to keep this inning without trying to cut the losses here.
McKay 0 for 2 in this game. Drives one to center field. It's shallow in right center. Now, that ball is going to be caught in shallow right center for the final out, but not before big damage is done. St. Mary's puts up 4 in the 4th, and they now lead 5-1. We go to the 4th as we see number 1 versus number 2. Eaglets make the first bite. We're back in a moment. This is The Prep.
Your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag G-Brand USA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
3 full innings pitched, 6 strikeouts for Brock Porter. He's walked 1. He's been sitting at 92 to 94. He's touched 95 a few times. The temperatures are dipping below 40 degrees. My name is Chad Bush alongside Brandon Justice. And Grosse Pointe Liggett is going to try to get some things going here in the 4th. They took a 4 spot in the top half of the 4th. Started with a bang with a Grimmer home run to right. And the wildness of Barr and the Eaglets are here. There's a line shot hit hard, but right at Oliver. And there's quickly 1 out here in the Liggett 4th.
Yeah, that's probably the best barrel Liggett's gotten all day today. The Purify hit was certainly a hit, but that was the hardest hit ball of the day for Liggett by Matthew Green, who gets his barrel to the zone so quickly, but just not enough lift on that. A little bit more of a launch would have found his way into the left center and a double, but again, we continue to hit hard on the game of inches, right? And he just missed that one.
Just 1 hit for Liggett against Brock Porter. That's the first hit this year. That's strikeout number 7 for Brock here in the 4th.
If you thought Brock Porter in a tie game was good, you should see Brock Porter with a lead. He's pitching with a ton of confidence right now.
And he just has control even with his off-speed pitches. And he hasn't had to go to it often, but you're right. He's really been solid. Just the 1 walk in this game against the 7 strikeouts. So here is Oliver Service.
Yeah, Brock Porter is facing a lineup with, I believe, 6 to 7 Division I guys in it. And he's making quick work of them. 1 hit, 1 run. And like you said, ton of control, only 1 walk. The slider has worked really well for him today. I still believe his best pitch is his changeup, so.
There's a tapper, a slow tapper. Oliver's going to have to hurry. Throws to first, and they got him. Bang, bang play at first. Oliver on Oliver crime there, and it ends the 4th. We go to the 5th inning. And another look at this Jason Oliver. Fine play to get his Oliver brother for Liggett.
Sportsmanship, because it's important. Treat your opponents the way you would want to be treated. My mom says that. Listen to the referees. It's their job. Be nice to their team and our team. Cheer them on. Always play fair. It's the right thing to do. It's sportsmanship. It's not that hard.
So St. Mary's #1 in the country according to Collegiate Baseball Newspaper. Of course, from the CHSL Central. Co-divisional now. There's girls. They've let girls in there. And yeah, it's thriving. Freshman and sophomore girls. They'll add another big class next year. 625 students. Matt Petrie, the bench boss. MHSCA Coach of the Year last year in his 12th season. And he has been responsible for 3 of the state titles in Orchard Lake. 5 all-time. And baseball alum Mike Ignashik, an 84 grad, played on the 84 runner-up team for St. Mary's, a Michigan grad, drafted in the 8th round by the Brewers in 88, and a career record of 10-4 with 88 strikeouts over a 4-year career. I played with his nephew, Ryan Ignashik, at St. Mary's. So, yeah, a rich baseball history for OLSM, but they are amongst their golden years under Mr. Petrie. And so are the Grosse Pointe University Liggett Knights, and they've gone to their bullpen. They brought in Blake Illich. What can you tell us about this freshman arm Blake Illich, who already has some offers.
Yeah, Blake Illich is a kid who's got the frame and the body and the genetics to take his game to the next level year by year, and he's done that in middle school. Like we said, the silliness of saying that, but it's true. He's got a long, heavy approach to his fastball. He's got some movement on it as well, some arm side run, and then you saw the long breaking curve there during his warm-up. It's going to start higher and break lower, almost like a 12-6. So he's got an advanced approach, but he's going to be thrown into the pack of wolves because here comes Blake Grimmer, who's responsible for 2 RBIs as it is today, including the bomb that got things started.
Yes, sir. A home run and a double, 2 of the 3 St. Mary's hits off this big left-handed bat. And the future Volunteer looks at one low. Blake Illich, a fastball that can get into the 90s. He's just a freshman. Miami of Florida and Michigan have already offered. And a guy who can also play in the infield, outfield, he'll DH. And he's gotten ahead of Blake Grimmer here to start the 5th inning. 5-1 St. Mary's over Liggett. Number 1 versus number 2 in the state, according to our poll, which we'll see here shortly here on the prep.
Yeah, Illich originally an IMG Academy guy, but ended up coming here to Liggett, sticking with the hometown team.
Swinging a sharp off-speed pitch is pounded into the fence.
Of course, his brother Patrick was a catcher here 2 years ago and played well. I believe he's at Valparaiso now. So,
that's right.
Illich family, obviously one that is synonymous with Detroit and the Metro Detroit area.
That's
pizza.
Atanas is their father.
Atanas, yes. Atanas, Little Caesars Baseball runs that organization. Not sure if he's still doing that, but I know he was doing it for quite a while.
Sure was.
Very successful organization. Tons of great teams. A lot of great players.
Yeah.
Dan Cimini coaches Little Caesars in the summer. Has been for a few years now. Yeah, does a terrific job.
Awesome. 2-2 count to Grimmer. Of course, 2-3 baseball today. Catholic League rules. 2 strikes you're out, 3 balls you walk. And that's what happens here. And that starts the 5th that way. So Grimmer, who's been on base now 3 times, will give way to his classmate, the Michigan commit, Jason Oliver. Oliver had a fine play to end the 4th to prove that he's more than just a pitcher and more than just an offensive guy. He can glove it a bit.
Yeah, body was off balance, but used that right foot to get him towards the target. Shoulders and hips all still there, despite the wild array of movement the body had to make that play. But that's what Jason Oliver does. He's instinctive, he's athletic, and doesn't let his mechanics outdo his athleticism. Mixes them both together well. Had a huge winter for his physicality. Just gotten so much bigger, and you've seen it because it's coming off his bat.
Yep. Pitches inside. The numbers for Jason Oliver are pretty good. 375 average. He's driven in 15 on the year, 2 long balls. A 5-tool guy edges off of first. Blake Grimmer. Plus speed, not running. That one is popped up. Foul territory. That one's going to get near the dugout and caught. No? Dropped. That ball was dropped. And Dan Cimini isn't happy about that one. Can we get another look at that one? Boy, that was off the glove of the first baseman, Jones.
It's a tough one. This wind blowing in and out, and Oliver Service is scaling the fence there, and just missed it. Just missed it.
Cimini with that leg kick. He wasn't happy, and I don't blame him. But it's hard to circle the baseball here.
It looked athletic, though.
There goes the runner. That one is popped up center field. This one fairly deep. Going back now to the track, and it's over the head of Green. And having to hold up was Grimmer, but he'll cruise into third. It's a double for Jason Oliver, and St. Mary's is really cooking with 2 on and nobody out to start the 5th.
Just continue to see this wind play one side, but this is what happens. You got some elevation here from Jason Oliver. He does that well. This ball just keeps carrying, probably both naturally and because of the wind, and Matt Green's just not able to read that. And that's a tough play to make. You're getting carried in center against your body. You're moving against your body. Everyone wants to say first step back, but his first step certainly was back. It's just the wind had a few more steps in store.
Yeah. I believe they're going to give an error. There's a inside-out swing off the fence, fouled back. This is Parker Brustevich, a two-way kid, a sophomore. The only freshman last year that got some run for OLSM is Brustevich. He can pitch it, and he can really stick it, and he is yet to fill out.
He's a smooth criminal, Parker Brustevich, and rightfully so. He just does everything the right way, mechanically, and you're starting to see the frame add to that.
Illich's pitch gets between the legs of Oliver Service. In to score comes Grimmer. It's 6-1 St. Mary's as Oliver advances to third.
One of two things there had to have happened. Either we had a cross-up and Service wasn't expecting that late break, or he simply just didn't have the instincts to drop to the knee and make the block there. But a tough pass ball, and Liggett can ill afford any mistakes like that one.
Get another look. It looked like a cross-up to me. Or either an in-between as a catcher. There's a base hit, AstroTurf base hit to left for Brustevich. Into score comes Oliver. And St. Mary's now leads 7-1 on the sophomore's base hit to left. And the Eaglets have blown this thing open here in the fifth.
And that's smart baseball by Jason Oliver. We didn't really see it as a point of emphasis there, but when that ball was hit, he took off. And traditionally, when a ball is hit to the left side and you're on third, you don't want to go. But he saw how slow that ball was moving and knew he could take off there and probably get there regardless. So that's just instincts. And like many of the kids here at St. Mary's, he has plenty of them.
Yes, he does. Well said. Second time today we've seen his instincts in action. Chubbs Ruckhaber will pinch run for Parker Brustevich. Brustevich will get credit with the run driven in. And for Parker, that is now RBI number 2 on the year in just his 20th plate appearance. So speed on at first and Chubbs Ruckhaber, and the pitch is an off-speed one taken for strike one to Ryan Mooney.
You're starting to see Orchard Lake run away with this one here. We'll see if Liggett can get something. They really, really need a ground ball. It's a turn one. Not the guy that you want up. Mooney flashes out of the box, but if you can just get one here.
There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. And out at home is Mooney. Strikeout onto second. Goes the runner Ruckhaber. So he's there with one out, and that'll turn the lineup to the top. Here comes Jake Dresselhaus.
You saw that long breaking curve there from Blake Illich. It's a really good pitch. St. Mary's, an older team, like we said, not a lot of underclassmen, mostly juniors and seniors here besides Brustevich. Have not seen Illich live, so there's not much of a scouting report for them. That long breaking curve is hard to pick up on. It comes out of the hand looking like a high fastball, and he has the velocity to force them to have to turn on that, but when it turns into a breaker like that, you see what happened with Mooney. But Mooney, credit to him, walking out of the box, got in Dresselhaus's ear and let him know what to look for, and maybe we'll see something there because you saw that pitch get buried and no swing. So maybe we learned something there between those two.
It's good to have teammate in-game chatter, isn't it?
Oh,
it's communicating.
Pivotal. You know, you're
helping each other out.
As coaches, you coach practice. You let your players play your game.
Hurry up, hurry up.
There's another pass ball.
Come on, no, you got to get down. Let's go.
And this is the second straight week we've seen it. We saw this with Brother Rice catching and pitching the other week, and it's just not as easy to pitch and catch in weather like this. And it's not all weather, but it's early season baseball. Teams are still getting used to being a battery. But it seems like more and more of it's happening.
Yeah, and we always, as baseball guys, should prioritize our backstops. It starts there. You know, the field starts there. They're the quarterbacks. They're the only ones that can see everything in front of them. You think about sports in general, the only positions that can see everything in front of them is your quarterback, your catcher, and your goalkeeper in soccer. Those are your leaders.
Yep. There's a line shot foul, and watch out, young man. That's a line shot, and this kid's barely flinched.
Almost 25 bonus points for Jake Dresselhaus there.
That's right. Dresselhaus with an RBI, a walk, and has struck out once. He's officially 0 for 1 today. All of his at-bats were against Kurt Barr, whose day is over. This is Blake Illich's game. Swing and a miss. And he gets Dresselhaus there. That's a big strikeout. Second out of the inning. And the second for Illich since he came in here in the fifth.
Win or lose, Blake Illich has caught eyes today. He has proven he can come in and hang with these guys, right, as a reliever. And it's tough to come in mop-up duty, you know. And maybe at 5-1, you don't exactly title it mop-up duty. But more or less, that's what it was for Blake Illich. You're a freshman. It's your first appearance against Orchard Lake St. Mary's. They come along with an identity. You know what you're facing, and he's been up for the challenge, and he's certainly looked the part.
He has, certainly looks mature physically, but he's responsible for Ruckhaber at third. This is Jack Crichton. Crichton today 0 for 3, has struck out once. A rare hitless day for Jack Crichton, who entered competition batting .542 on the year, second best in the lineup.
This will be the first time I've seen Jack Crichton not get a hit, if that comes to fruition.
That one's fouled off of Jack. He got hit twice last week, and now those long, lanky legs are getting battered up again.
And it just seems like he's opening up that front shoulder a little bit too early. It happened earlier today, and one of his at-bats happened there. Just that one more or less just fooled on the off-speed ahead of it. Illich doing the job he was trying to do. We'll see what he comes back with here in a 1-2 count, or is it a 2-2 count here? Yeah, 1-2 count. He might break that same pitch away from him even further.
Illich to the set. Ruckhaber edges off a third, and another pitch will do it again.
Went to the fastball, got him behind it. He was late, but the pitch was on the outer half, so just trying to go the other way. You know, if I'm Illich here, probably break something away from him. I mean, you got nothing to lose here.
26th pitch of the inning to Jack Crichton.
Well, he went to it. Didn't fool him, though. Crichton, a smart hitter, going to get himself in a 2-2 count here.
Sees spin rates well. That's on his scouting report.
Yeah, slows the ball down, picks up the seams. That's a difference maker. Not many can do that. Few.
Ground ball right side, right at Jones. He'll handle it himself, but not before the Eaglets add a couple more. They've got a touchdown in Grosse Pointe, and they lead it 7-1 as we go to the bottom half of the fifth from Liggett Baseball Field. We are the Prep.
Begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Brock Porter out for his fifth inning of duty. You look at the Liggett Knights, 3-1 on the year. They split with Brother Rice. Both teams threw no hitters. They are in Division III, but they're also in the Central. They moved up this year. 612 students. So we get a Brock Porter fastball. Dan Semenia's 18th year, 5 state titles. That's the second most in MHSAA baseball history. Swing and a miss. Got him on strike. Strikeout number 8 for Porter to start things here in the fifth.
Yeah, Porter is settled in, to say the least. He knew what he was doing there. Back-to-back fastballs, lack of worries, understood the guy was going to be behind it, and that's exactly what happened.
So here comes Jones. This is Jack Jones. He's committed to Michigan State, is Jack. He's just a junior, and he's out on strikes just like that.
That is 4 straight fastballs from Brock Porter, and that is 2 strikeouts in doing so. So welcome to the Catholic League, and welcome to the Brock Porter Show, because he is settled in and already on, look at that, already on the mound and ready to roll.
97 with a fastball on that last one. This is Barr. This is Preston Barr, committed to Michigan, the third baseman. And he looks at another fastball from Porter. And that's at 93 miles an hour against the righty.
Yeah, Porter's working quick. He's taken probably less than 4 seconds in between each pitch, but mixing his sequences because waited a little bit longer there and came with his first off speed of the inning. Beautiful job.
Got him with a slider out on strikes. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Brock Porter, who has mowed through this lineup, giving up just 1 hit and 1 run. We'll keep it right here as we go to the top of the 6th. Want to introduce our crew. Alex Westfall is your executive producer. Brandon Cardenas is your replay coordinator. Fish is on audio. Brandon Justice is on color commentary. Pat the Stat is on statistics. James Ferris is your creative director. Julia Pisano is on photo today. And Devin Schweitzer is on a camera. And who's the new guy out there at first base?
We've got Jake Martin here. Worked with him actually quite a bit last winter, so he saw a big gains for him behind the plate. And Dan Cimini saw last inning, saw the pass balls from Service, and made the change. And that's Dan Cimini, man. He's not afraid to make switches when it needs to happen. And Oliver Service, despite being a Texas commit and the player that he is going to get pulled here mid-game. I don't know if he maybe is catching the second game and they want to give him a break, but I'm going to lean towards the pass balls being the reasoning behind that. So you'll see Martin do a great job receiving, and he's a pretty aggressive blocker. He gets over the top. The arm isn't what you see on the other side with Oliver's Service, but can certainly play there. And then on the mound, you got Matthew Green.
He changes the entire battery. So Green moves from center field to pitcher. This is the right-hander Matthew Green. Just a junior. He's got a live arm. What do you like about Matthew Green?
Yeah, Matthew was great for us last summer with the Arsenal Angels and played a lot of third base for us and went on the mound. The arm is clearly taking a jump over the past several months here. He's just a silent assassin, man. You're not going to hear a lot from him on the field. He just gets things done. He moves in silence, and that's the type of kid you need on your team. He's a glue guy. Guys rally around the bat that he has, but he can come on the mound and do some things as well. He works a nice curveball in as a secondary to go along with his fastball. But he's not a quote-unquote pitcher, so we'll see how he does here.
Green's fastball in the inside corner to Schubert. And it's over for a strike. Randazzo moves to center field. And the left fielder is yet to be identified. This is Nolan Schubert, the Michigan commit. And there's a ground ball just wide of third. Nearly double trouble for Schubert, who had a big day against the Knights last year. And the Eaglets win over Liggett.
How about Matt Green? Again, a guy who's not he's not a pitcher. It's not what he does. It's not his position, but attacking Nolan Schubert. Attacking Nolan Schubert early and often. Came with a fastball that Schubert watched, and he might have been able to turn on, and now back-to-back off speeds. But the ability that Schubert has to stay alive in counts like this gives Matt Green this window here where he has to decide, is he going to come with the heater or is he going to continue to try and throw an off speed? I'd probably bury one here. Don't want to make a mistake on Schubert.
The 0-2, swing and a miss. Got him on a breaking ball, and the strikeout is completed down to first by Jake Martin, and there's quickly 1 out in the Eaglet 6th in this 7-1 Orchard Lake lead.
And bury one he did, Chad. Bury one he did. So credit to Matthew Green, fearless, coming on the mound here in a 7-1 game, facing the probably second best power bat behind the guy who's up right now, like Irish, in Nolan Schubert, and just 4 pitches and sitting him down. So a great piece of pitching there for Matthew Green.
Ryan Knabel is in left field. He is the left fielder who will now shift into the left center field gap against Ike Irish, who takes a big cut and a miss at a nice off-speed pitch from Matthew Green, who's come on and looked pretty sharp, partner.
Matthew Green, you are doing some things, my friend. I will definitely be talking to him after this about it, because that is strike 3 right there.
How about that?
How about
Back-to-back Ks. And Ike Irish says, hey, I didn't even know this kid was on the scouting report. So a slider from Green. Good morning, good afternoon, and he's just mowing through this Eaglet lineup as we get another look.
I mean, when you go out there and you don't have fear, you're going to be more confident than when you do when you come out with fear. And there's no fear in the blood of Matthew Green. He is mowing down. Green
is a Michigan commit. He's a senior, and he is a high academic kid. He's got a 4.25 GPA.
Yeah, Matthew Green is an anomaly kind of person because he's first and foremost a phenomenal human being. Second off, academic to a degree that you don't see too often. He's one of few. I believe the GPA, like you said, is around the 4.3. He got a 35 on his ACT.
My goodness.
And wanted to take it again so he could get a 36, but I think him and Mom agreed a 35 would be just all right. So he's looking like he's got a 36 in the baseball ACT so far today on the mound.
My goodness.
These two were teammates, McKay and Green, last summer. So that was a nice, fun face-off there. Although
Green wanted nothing to do with him.
Yeah, not a single thing. I think he learned that.
But there's probably not a whole lot he wants to do with Mr. Grimmer, who's been on base 3 times. He's had a home run, a double, and a walk, and is a leading candidate to be our G of the game.
Yep, this is the rich get richer lineup, as we say in Michigan high school baseball. And to go from Schubert to Irish, McKay, and now Grimmer. See what happens here. Matthew Green, 2 outs, guys on first.
McKay running. The pitch is off speed. Throw down to second, and that is not in time. It's a stolen base. The tag was slapped down by Purify, and a fine throw from Martin, but no chance to get McKay. McKay, who had a good jump and an off-speed pitch.
Yeah, like you said before this inning, Martin's a guy who doesn't have the same arm as Service, but behind the plate receives really well, blocks really well. Not a bad throw, just a little underthrown, and McKay had a good jump, so that's the product. Just missed him. Yeah, that was a great throw, actually.
It
on
was.
The replay here.
Crafty slide by McKay.
The Prep's impressive technology.
Well, that's Brandon Cardenas, your replay operator. You'll find him all over the place. He works weekends with the Red Wings. Alex Westfall, your executive producer, spinning the dials as well. Swing and a miss. And the strikeouts are completed. How about the trifecta for Matthew Green, who comes on and shines in the top of the 6th inning? And that ends the Eaglets' attempt in the 6th. We go to the Liggett half of the 6th inning, a 6-run Eaglet lead. Come on back, won't you? Thank you for watching on YouTube. Give us a subscribe, a follow, Instagram. Ooh, look at that. Joey Randazzo goes dancing away. Brock Porter's been the story. He has gone 5 full innings. He's given up just 1 hit and 1 run. And it's his first hit and his first run given up this year. The fastball's been hot, up to 97. And he sat right around 92, 96. He's been up to 98, Pat, the stat says. I trust Pat. He's got the San Diego Padres in his back pocket, feeding him numbers. This is Joey Randazzo, feeding him like a bird gets seed.
Joey Randazzo with quite the outfit here. Baby blue gloves, baby blue sleeves, baby blue hood. Looking the part.
I'm big on that baby blue look. In fact, we got to talk to our G about that. And we will talk to Brian Metallic in between games. We'll also talk to Dan Cimini. They'll have to split airtime. We might have to extend the pregame. There's was that a hit by pitch or a walk?
That was a walk. Just missed on the curveball. A little high. Looked like it crossed the zone above the letters. It did finish at the letters, but crossed the zone above it. So he will take first base.
I'm really big on that baby blue, that powder blue. That's grown popular, hasn't it?
It sure has. Wyandott's over at Wyandotte. We've got some baby blues ourselves. It looks like the old Brewers, old Brewers jersey. So
okay.
Got the navy blue lettering over the baby blue or powder blue uniforms, top and bottom.
This is Jaron Purify, and he looks at strike 2. He's out on strikes.
Yeah, it looked like it got just over the corner. He didn't like it, but that's something you got to compete with in a 2-strike count. Throw your hands, fight it off, survive.
Porter is...
yeah, that's a strike.
Yeah, right on the spot. So that is a strikeout. Number 9. No, number 10. Strikeout number 10 for Brock Porter against 2 walks.
See what Reggie Sharp can do here. We know Reggie well, bat-to-ball guy. Finds barrels well. See if he can do something here. Hasn't had the flashiest day at the plate so far.
Bottom of the 6th. Runner on is Randazzo, and that is a hit and run. And is that off Reggie? Yes, it is. So that is another hit by pitch.
Got him right in the head, too, so
ooh,
should probably check up on him there. There's a lot of velocity hitting you. I think that was off speed, though, so he lucked out. Had that been a fastball, I think we would have definitely seen something different. Yeah, looks like he just was trying to get that slider over trying to front door that slider and just rolled off the finger wrong.
So a walk and a hit by pitch, and that'll bring up Matthew Green with 2 men on, a chance to help his own cause, and there's a ball that gets by the catcher Irish. So now some chaos, and Liggett starting to stir some things up, and Porter's starting to show some human qualities.
A little bit of deja vu because last year when this game, Orchard Lake and Liggett, took place at Liggett, Orchard Lake jumped out to an early lead, and not as earlier last year than this year, but regardless, an early lead. And Liggett was able to chip away and make this game closer at the tail end. So maybe they can put something together here and do something similar. But they'll have a challenge, as they've had all day, having to do it off Brock Porter. But if there's any guy to step up and do it, it looks like it might be Matthew Green, and that's the guy they have in the box. So coming off a 3-strikeout inning against the heart of an Orchard Lake order, he saw the 2, 3, and 4 hitters. So see what Matthew Green can do here. Probably the first or second best pure hitter on this team behind Purify. This is definitely who Coach Cimini wants in the box right now.
Dan Cimini in his 18th year, talking to Joey Randazzo. After the conference with Matt Petrie, there is no activity in the Eaglet bullpen. Brock Porter is about to throw his 62nd pitch of the day. Runners at second and third, Sharp at second, Randazzo at third. And here's the first pitch to the batter, Matthew Green. And it's fouled and lifted out of here as the sun starts to shine in Grosse Pointe.
Yeah, he just missed that. He was right, and he knows it. He had a little frustration after seeing that whip foul. He had his barrel in the right spot at the right time, just a tad bit under it.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 12 of the day for Brock Porter with 2 outs now in the 6th inning.
Speaking of deja vu, right? Seen a lot of swing and misses today. from Brock Porter, inducing him.
It has become a theme. There's a pass ball, and into score comes Randazzo. It's now 7-2. St. Mary's over Liggett.
Let's see what happened here. I think that one just snuck through. Irish was in the right spot. Glove got there a little bit late, more than likely, but you see something common with catchers nowadays. You want to smother it with your logo over top of it. You don't want to block it upwards.
This offering is smacked to center, and Russellhouse there to retire at the side. But Liggett gets one back despite not having a hit. And it's now 7-2 St. Mary's as we go to the top half of the 7th inning from Grosse Pointe. Thanks for watching. We are the Prep.
Your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
We want to thank our friends at 2SP, and you can give them a shout at 248-397-8945. Farmington Hills, Madison Heights, Shelby Township, and Waterford. Joe Neal, hey, give them a mention that you found us on the Prep, and they will give you a 10% off. And we thank Joe Neal and the great folks at 2SP. Welcome back. Brandon Justice is his name. My name is Chad Bush. We are the Prep. Alex Westfall, your executive producer. And there's a line shot base hit, the 6th of the game for Orchard Lake and the 2nd of the game for Jason Oliver as the Eaglets start things off here in the 7th with a hit.
Yeah, Jason Oliver, great piece of hitting there. Saw Matthew Green wasted no time in the first pitch fastball attacking like he has and with his first 3 batters he faced last inning. But Oliver's able to hold that front load, hold that weight back on the back foot, see that the breaker was going to break across and land on the outer half and take it the other way. Just a great piece of hitting from Oliver, who, is prone to sometimes pulling off on a pitch like that, but you can see he's working on it and has been diligent in working on it and did a great job there with a very solid barrel. That had to come off the bat, 85 to 90 plus. Nice piece of hitting there by Oliver.
Aiden Donovan into pinch run for Jason Oliver, and now Matt Petrie's going to come down the line and make another move. He'll enter Vincent Cowdery into the ball game. So Cowdery is into the game now, and they have lifted Parker Brustevich out of the game. So Brustevich, the DH, is out. Cowdery is in if you're scoring at home.
Yeah, Vincent Cowdery playing for the D-backs Elite this summer, team I'm assistant coaching, and we're excited about Cowdery, and he's went yard this year as already, and he's not an everyday starter for this team quite yet, so to see him do that is encouraging. He's got a nice bat. Behind the plate, he's extremely reliable in all facets. Everything is good for him behind the plate. There's really no weaknesses. There's you want more out of the arm, that'll happen, but the consistency with the glove and the blocking is more than worth it.
And this is a guy that's a backup catcher. In most programs would be the lead guy. He's just a junior.
Yeah, Vincent Cowdery would be in the middle of most orders, and he would be pretty much most other programs' backstops.
St. Mary's is off to Cleveland tomorrow. In fact, tonight they'll head to Cleveland. They've got a tango with St. Ignatius tomorrow. They'll then head down to the Columbus area and take on Olentangy Orange. And then Grove City, Ohio on the 23rd, and Upper Arlington to round that trip off. We'll catch St. Mary's again on the 25th. And that'll be 6 days from today, and that'll be against Country Day. That'll be in Beverly Hills at 13 in Lasser. We'll have coverage for you then.
St. Mary's and Country Day. Nice little crosstown rivalry. I don't know if it's quite Mary's and Rice, but it's up there. Nice elevated fastball there from Green.
Yep, Green with a strikeout. He's been impressive today. Are you surprised at the effectiveness, and is this a guy that they are going to use in leverage situations as the year goes on?
Matt Green looks like a different pitcher out there this year than he did last year. Not to discredit what he was able to do last year, but Matt Green was not a pitcher growing up. He was not a pitcher a year ago, but he looks like one today, right? He really does, and I haven't had the chance to see him throw since last summer, but you can just see he's oozing confidence out there. He's found the grips. He's found the releases that work for him because he hasn't missed with that off-speed very much. It really hasn't been any slips or anything like that. He's had full control over it, so he looks like a pitcher today. And as I said that, he threw a pickoff, so I hope I didn't jinx him.
That's all right. There's no such thing as a broadcaster jinx, Brandon. Brandon Justice is his name, the pride of Wyandotte, right?
I don't know if I'd say the pride, but I definitely coach there.
Currently the pride of Wyandotte.
Yeah,
my brother lives there, so there's a lot of – it's okay.
There's a lot of pride. A lot of pride downriver in general. But
you attended where? Where was
Trenton.
your high school? You were Trenton.
Trenton.
You were Trenton Trojan. Yes.
Trenton Trojan.
Sure.
Yeah, but today, it's a great day to be a Bear today and every day.
No doubt. Bear down. Runner on second, one out. This is popped up, foul out of play. That'll get back amongst the faithful. They say there's about 20 pro scouts here. Is that about right? Yeah? You think so, Brian?
Sounds about right. Rightfully so. I mean, look at the talent we've been able to witness today. It's pretty special. You don't see this often. This is you said it earlier, golden years for Orchard Lake. This is also the golden years of Michigan high school baseball.
Yeah.
It seems like it's going to keep continuing. This is going to go on for years, it seems like. But if it doesn't, let's all soak it in right now. This is the pinnacle of it right here, these two teams facing off.
Number 1 versus number 2. Matthew Green to the set. Here comes the pitch. Breaking ball over for a strike. Mooney is out. They'll complete the strikeout to first. And that is the second out of the inning. Holding at second base is the pinch runner, Aiden Donovan. And that'll leave things up to the leadoff man, Jake Dresselhaus.
Look, I know it's a 7-2 game. St. Mary's is probably going to win this, but we might need to get some fans getting a K counter going on in right field for Matthew Green because he is just stacking them up. I believe that's 5 outs, 5 strikeouts.
That's right.
How about that for a non-pitcher? So they say.
Not too shabby. Strikeout number 5. Make it number 6, actually. There's a ground ball to first. It'll be handled by Jones. And that will retire the side. So Liggett down by 5 with their last swing. Down to their final 3 outs. Game 1 of 2 games. We'll preview the starters for Game 2 right after this.
Your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. #GBrandUSA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
There you see it, the top 10. St. Mary's number 1, Liggett 2, Woodhaven 3, Brother Rice 4, New Boston Huron 5, Lakeland 6. They moved up. Howell 7th. Macomb, Dakota enters the poll. So does Lake Orion and Detroit Catholic Central. 6 through 10, man, you just throw it in a bag and throw it up in the air, Brandon. Welcome back, and these are the rankings. I know you agree on some, maybe disagree on others, but one thing we know, it's a crapshoot this early on in the year for a lot of these teams.
Yeah, and that's the point I was going to make, is just we don't know enough. You know, Woodhaven has a loss to CC. CC has 2, drubbings by the hands of St. Mary's, and Dakota has a loss or so. Huron lost a game last week, but these are all teams that in the long term, how you see this whole thing playing out this year between now and June, those rankings don't look wrong to me, right? And that's as good. Right. I mean, no one's going to be exactly right at this stage of the game, and I believe if there was a competition to be right, you'd be close there.
No doubt. There's a chopper to second, handled by St. Mary's number 27. That is Will Boisenow at second base. The sophomore handles it to first. Grimmer records the out. There's 1 up and 1 down. We also want to mention in those rankings, we had some folks getting fired up. Those are just for Metro Detroit. So Oakland, Macomb, Wayne, Livingston counties, not Grand Blanc,
right?
Not Flint. The folks up there got a little upset.
Yeah.
Social media. Hey, we're not including Grand Blanc. We respect Grand Blanc, and we'll see Grand Blanc.
Yes.
When St. Mary's and Grand Blanc play up at Broome Park to close out the regular season for St. Mary's on the 28th.
And Grand Blanc might be your second best overall team in the state.
They might. They might be.
It's hard to tell. We're so early. I think Liggett on paper is, but they had to face Brock Porter.
Pitches down.
Porter, so
sorry, partner.
Any team faces Brock Porter, you're going to look less good than your ceiling is, I believe. I think that's a fair assessment. Wouldn't you agree?
Yes, sir. Brock Porter's day is done. He ends up going 6 full innings. He gives up 1 hit, 2 runs. Just 1 of those runs was earned. He struck out 12 and walked just 2. He threw 59 pitches. The fastball touched 98 and sat between 92 and 96 most of the afternoon.
Jason Oliver is changing his sequences here in his wind-up. Moving quick now.
Strike 2 call. Jason Oliver in on relief. Records the strikeout against Barr. And the Knights are down to their final out here in Game 1.
That's high IQ stuff from Jason Oliver on the mound. What he's doing is he's messing with the timing. These Liggett guys and most high IQ hitters have a rhythm and a routine to what they're doing, to getting to their first strike before their swing. And timing like that, moving the way he moves on the mound is going to mess with it. They're on the on-deck circle working at their rhythm, and then when the rhythm he's using changes when you're in the box, as does your timing. So we'll see what he does here. Maybe slows it down.
The game within the game. There's a pitch on the outside part. This is number 3, Ryan Knabel, who entered the game last inning defensively in left field. He is a junior and also doubles as a pitcher. He's the final hope for the Knights against Oliver. Swing and a miss, and the game is over. Oliver comes in and shuts down Liggett. 1-2-3. Game 1 between number 1 and number 2 is over, and the Eaglets have reached 10 wins on the year against no defeats. Liggett falls to 3-2. We've got a great Game 2 coming up after this. We'll take a timeout, come back with some highlights and recap Game 1 between St. Mary's and Grosse Pointe University Liggett. We are The Prep. Thanks for watching. Don't go anywhere.
As the voice of Michigan student athletes, the Student Advisory Council's role
is to convey the message of how high school sports are supposed to be played.
We are responsible for helping the MHSAA maintain a positive and healthy atmosphere
so the interscholastic athletes may thrive.
We believe athletes should be competitive,
sportsmanlike, and excel academically.
We believe students in the stands should have fun,
but not take the focus away from the game.
We believe coaches should act as teachers,
helping student athletes develop while still keeping high school sports in perspective.
We believe that parents should always be positive role models
and be supportive of their child's decisions.
We believe officials commit their own time to high school sports.
And respect should always be shown and given to them.
The most important goal for student athletes is to enjoy.
What rhymes with great?
Participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom. On the diamond.
In the pool. On the field. Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends. Yeah! Be great.
Participate.
Welcome back to Liggett Field. My name is Chad Bush. Glad you're with us here on the prep. Orchard Lake St. Mary's wins this ball game by a final score of 7-2. Let's go to highlights here as St. Mary's opened the scoring. Take a look at a ground out here, an advancement. Sacrifice fly here, well, just a fly out to right. It was tough to pitch and catch. St. Mary's was on the move, pass balls. The Eaglets took advantage. This was Liggett getting out of things in the first. No score there, but things would get rolling in the second frame. Liggett would come in to tie the game here in the third into score. But then St. Mary's had trouble getting going against Barr. Got a bit aggressive and put some runs together in the fourth. It was a 4-run fourth inning for St. Mary's. It started with that Grimmer home run. Brock Porter, the story most of the day. This was a great play by Jason Oliver to save a hit. But pass balls, wild pitches, call it what you want. This was a pass ball that Grimmer scored on. This is an advancement by Ruckhaber. And ball getting thrown all over the place. Aiden Donovan advances here. This was the shot off the wall for Blake Grimmer, who doubled. He would have a double, a home run, and is our G of the game. Blake Grimmer with a big day for Orchard Lake St. Mary's. The Eaglets would get 4 in the fourth, 2 in the fifth, and would go on to win 7-2 over Grosse Pointe Liggett in game one. 7 runs on 6 hits for St. Mary's, no errors. And Liggett, 2 runs, 1 hit, and 3 errors on the day. Liggett would get their hit from Purify. It was an RBI. It was the first hit given up this year by Brock Porter. But it was enough for St. Mary's to cruise along. They would get enough for Porter. Jason Oliver was the big banger on the day. He went 3 for 4 from the plate, 2 runs scored. Grimmer with 2 runs driven in and a 2-for-3 day with that home run and a double. So St. Mary's wins it 7-2. They move to 10-0 on the year. Liggett falls to 3-2. And we will preview the starting pitchers for next game. But let's close the line on Brock Porter. Porter ends up going 6 innings. He gave up 1 hit, his first hit of the year, 2 runs, just 1 was earned, and he had 12 strikeouts, a season high, and 2 walks. Porter goes to 2-0 on the year. Oliver would come in and pitch a clean 9th and would get a strikeout. For Liggett, taking a loss is Kurt Barr. He went 4 innings, gave up 3 hits, gave up 5 runs, but just 2 of those runs were earned. He struck out 4 and walked 4. Blake Illich would come on and in 1 inning give up 2 hits, 2 runs, would strike out a couple. And Matthew Green, and his 2 innings was impressive, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk, and gave up 1 hit and no runs. And so St. Mary's goes on to beat Grosse Pointe Liggett today. We'll have game 2 coming up just around the corner. We'll take a pause. We'll talk to Dan Cimini in just a moment and get his thoughts on game 2. We are the Prep. I want to introduce our crew today, our hardworking crew. We appreciate everything they've done today, and it's captained by Alex Westfall, your executive producer. Brandon Cardenas on replay, graphics Alex Johnson, Bradley Ross on a camera, Devin Schweitzer on a camera, Samuel Fisher on audio, Pat the Stat, of course, on stats and radar guns, Brandon Justice on color commentary. My name is Chad Bush. We're back for game 2 in just a moment, and Dan Cimini, the head coach of Liggett in his 18th year.
Test, 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 test.
I'm just trying to,
Yeah, I see what you did.
He's trying to.
Thank you.
What, you want him over here?
Like right here.
Okay.
Centering behind him.
He wants you down here.
Welcome back to Liggett Field. Game 2 here on the prep. Game 2 of a 2-game set between St. Mary's and Liggett. My name is Chad Bush. Alongside Brandon Justice. Glad to be with you again, Brandon.
Yeah, glad to be here. A little bit warmer in the studio this time around, huh?
Feels better. We got a little heat. All right, welcome to Liggett Field. Sorry for our power outage. We had a power outage at the stadium, and we are set. It's a 2-2 game. Welcome back to Grosse Pointe Liggett. We apologize. We have power issues, power outages here at the stadium. Jack Crichton has just smacked his second double of the game. My name is Chad Bush. His name is Brandon Justice. 3-2 St. Mary's, top of the second. Glad you're with us. We apologize if this happens again. We won't stop trying to keep power here. We've got a relentless crew led by Alex Westfall. Brandon Justice, your thoughts so far in this 3-2 game now, top of the second?
A little bit of the opposite of what we saw in game one here. A lot of bats early, some wall sides. We got a ground ball here from Schubert.
This will be out number 2 as Purify handles that. That's Jaron Purify, the shortstop for Liggett. As we take a look at the defense for Grosse Pointe Liggett, coming up here shortly. This is Ike Irish. Irish in his first at bat walked. St. Mary's led 2-0. They got 2 runs in the first on a Grimmer RBI walk and an Oliver RBI walk. And then pitch is low. 2 runs for Liggett. And they were able to get their runs by way of a home run by Jaron Purify to lead things off to left field to make it 2-1. And then an RBI double by Oliver Service to tie the game at 2. High-scoring affair, quite the opposite of last time. This feels like a more level affair. Parker Brustevich got the start for St. Mary's. And right now, both pitchers giving up some base runners.
Yeah, Jaron Purify hopped in the first pitch of the game out of not the first pitch of the game, first pitch of the inning out of Parker's hand, and took that to left center. Short porch here at Liggett, similar to the field at St. Mary's, and both teams are equipped to do some damage in a park like this. And you got 2 pitchers on the mound here for both teams that are they're good pitchers, right? They're going to be at the top of the rotation for most teams in the state, but the reality is they're not the dominant forces that Kurt Barr and Brock Porter are. Especially, Brock. So we're going to see a little bit of offensive redemption here from probably both sides and some more barrels than the normal.
Yep.
Minnie McKay giving me a smirk from a distance.
So St. Mary's won the first game 7-2. Behind Brock Porter's 12 strikeouts. And behind Blake Grimmer's 2 RBIs. He had a home run and a double. He's driven in his 3rd run of the day here in the first inning with a walk that drove in a bases-loaded run for the game's first score back in the first. And now he's up with runners at first and third, Brandon. As you get a look at the defense for Liggett. Barr at third, Purify at short, Sharp at second. The other Barr at first, Service behind home plate, Randazzo in left, Green in center, and Jones in right. Behind Jack Jones, the pitcher. He's got an identical twin brother in the outfield in Ryan Jones.
We'll see what Jack Jones does here. This is obviously a pivotal moment in the game. Swing of the bat could change this game entirely. But an out would keep Liggett in it and flip the side over to give them a chance to tie the game up or take the lead like they did last time.
Balmy conditions, Brandon. We're dipping below 40. The wind's whipping.
It is certainly cold weather out here, and it's spring ball in Michigan. I wouldn't be shocked if, Jones's pitch count it's getting up there as it is. Like I said, 4 walks in the first inning. I wonder if Matthew Green still has something in the tank. Did not throw many pitches in game 1, somewhere around 25 to 35, so he certainly could come back in and relieve this one. He seemed to have the most success against the St. Mary's bats of all the Liggett arms today.
So he has, you're right. This one's fouled out of play.
See what Coach Samini has in store. See if Jones can settle in.
Jones is a Michigan State commit. He's just a junior.
A lot to love about the frame in Jones. I mean, he's the kind of guy you're going to keep an eye on for the years to come. I think he's a guy that's going to come into his own in college, and he's certainly successful at the high school level. Still feel like the best baseball is ahead of him, but that's a huge out there on Blake Grimmer. Phenomenal little change up on the outside corner. Grimmer saw the movement coming in towards the outside, went for it there, but way out in front, and the changeup dipped below the barrel. Perfect pitch from Jack Jones there to end the inning.
So, Eaglets are out. They do get a run. They get a run on the RBI double from Jack Crichton. It's 3-2 St. Mary's. As we go to the home half of the second, Parker Brustevich will toe the mound. Parker Brustevich, a long, lanky right-hander, a guy that pitches 2 ways. And a guy that you'll see in the infield as well, Brandon. And look, this guy already 2 wins this year in 7 innings pitched.
Yeah, and he's a guy that's like similar to Matthew Green in a way where their demeanor is calm, cool, collected. He's a smooth criminal out there. And in the infield, he's as smooth as anyone. On the mound, we'll see if he can bounce back from a little bit of a rough first inning that included a home run from Purify. But he's pretty emotionless, Parker. He's pretty much he moves forward. He's kind of like a goldfish, not a lot of emotion, and that's a good thing to have in baseball. But we'll see, because Liggett knows, I think Coach Samini knows in this stage right now, it should be worse. You think about the first inning with 4 walks. You think about last inning where they got out of a jam. It's almost like if they can muster something together here, great, but if they don't, St. Mary's is always a threat to blow things open in the middle innings like we saw last game. And they've threatened to do so in the early innings, but Liggett holding it like they have so far, you need something here out of the ninth. You need something here.
We'll see what they have. This is a lineup that will send this first batter up. This is Jack Jones, the pitcher, and out after the strikeout. So 1 up and 1 down for Jack Jones is out. And here comes Preston Barr, the third baseman, followed by Joey Randazzo. Behind the St. Mary's defense with Irish at the catcher spot, Crichton at third, Jason Oliver at short, Minnie McKay at second, Blake Grimmer at first, Schubert in right, Dresselhaus in center, and Ryan Mooney in left field behind Parker Brustevich, whose numbers coming in. 7 innings pitched. This is his 4th game appearance and his 2nd start on the year. He's 2-0, and that ERA is .000 coming in, but he's already given up a home run. But 2 strikeouts here to start the second.
Yeah, it was a great pitch there. That was an out pitch. He knew what he was doing there, trying to break it away to the opposite batter's box. Barr will question whether he went or not, but got the barrel to come across the zone and got the strikeout by doing so.
Here's Joey Randazzo, who scored the only run for, one of the 2 runs for Liggett. Joey Randazzo in left field, moved to center field late in the game. And he looks at a strike, 1-1. 38 degrees, the official game time temperature. Slider over for strike 3. The strikeout will be completed. Irish throws to first, and that retires the side. We go to the top of the third. 3-2. The number 1 team in the state, number 1 team in the nation, Orchard Lake St. Mary's, leads Grosse Pointe University Liggett. We're back in a moment to Liggett Field. We are the Prep.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Well, sometimes you need team guys, and your audio guy needs to go out to center field and hang out in somebody's backyard and film a game. And that's exactly what Samuel Fish Fisher has done for us. A team player indeed. Thanks, Fish.
Glue guy. You need him. You need glue guys.
He is the ultimate glue guy. So is Ryan Minnie McKay, who's rose from being a glue guy to a spotlight guy, a commit to Michigan State in the fall. And he faces Jack Jones, his future teammate. Pops it up. This is out of play. Service gives a courtesy look. But he's not getting to this one. It's on to one of the 15 turf fields they have here in this metroplex of luxury here at Liggett.
Yeah, it's a beautiful complex here.
Really nice.
In the heart of Grosse Pointe.
There's a fly ball, shallow left field. Coming on late was Randazzo. He makes the catch. And there's one out here in the Eaglet top half of the third.
Yeah, that was a good plane there from McKay coming in on it with the right angle and pushing it to the right part of the field on the outside ball there, but just under it. And that's life in baseball, baby. That's life in baseball. About
yes,
a centimeter away from a nice little line drive, buddy.
Yep.
A bit too under it.
There he is. There's Fish. Timed at the 60-yard dash at 7-7 back in the day, but he's back, and Fish on the hop and back in the booth. Fish, we're missing our music. All right. Here's Jason Oliver against Jack Jones. Swing and a slice to left, hit hard, and it's going to get past Randazzo. Oliver stays hot. That'll be his fourth hit of the game, or of the day, rather. And he's in scoring position now with one out.
It's a great throw from Matthew Green there, who's playing good backup. Short park, so you can get away with something like that from Randazzo, who probably, looked like he was hesitating, thinking about the dive, wanted to make the safe play, but the turf got the best of him there. But, that's probably a double regardless.
Yep, no doubt. So Oliver now with a hit and an RBI in this game. There's a ground ball sharply to short. Purify will throw to first. That's his second out. Oliver advances to third. And that'll leave things up to Ryan Mooney with two outs in this 3-2 St. Mary's lead. Top of the third. 1 versus 2. Liggett trying to even this two-game set.
See what Ryan Mooney can do here. Something simple. A little base knock through the middle. Find a hole. Drive this runner in. If Ryan Mooney gets on first base, Ryan Mooney's going to be on second base more times than not. So should be his line of thinking here.
Runs well. The Notre Dame commit awaits the fastball, and it's fouled back. Both teams with 2 runs in the first. St. Mary's with 1 in the second. And they're threatening here in the third. 3 runs and 3 hits for St. Mary's. 2 runs on 2 hits for Liggett.
See what he comes back here with. He went with the fastball here first pitch, but that breaker's worked well for him. He took something off that. Change up in the outer half. When he got ahead of it, pulled it off. So he's playing do-si-do, went hard with the first pitch, took something off the second. See what he does here. Maybe buries one or elevates a fastball.
Service looks into the dugout for the sign. Sets up in the outside part of the plate. Here comes the 0-2. Got him on strikes.
Got the elevated fastball, and it worked. It's changing eye levels. It's a tough thing to deal with as a hitter, especially when you're a young hitter.
So that ends the inning. we go. The bottom half of the third. Eaglets by 1.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
So here we go to start the bottom half of the third. There's a pitch on the inside part. This is Jaron Purify against Parker Brustevich. Purify homered last time up. Sorry, Brandon.
First pitch, but did not. Yeah.
Got him on a slider. Brustevich has come back this time and won this battle. Purify with a glance, but that's a sharp one there.
Yeah, Parker attacked the inner hands there on the previous pitch with a fastball, and then came across, showed the same plane on that pitch, but it broke right down the middle. So looked like Purify thought that was going to stay inside, but did exactly what Parker wanted it to do.
Well located. Here comes Reggie Sharp. Reggie Sharp. This club played in the Little League World Series. A lot of these guys played together in that World Series, I believe, in 2018.
Yes, 2018. Plenty of these guys and some others, too, that are around the area. There was 3 of them that went.
Taylor, I think, was another one.
Taylor won it last year, Downriver's very own. First time a Michigan team had won it since I want to say it was like 85.
That's right.
But yeah, Grosse Pointe sent 3 teams to the Little League World Series. Did not win one, but sent 3 teams there. That in and of itself is quite the accomplishment to send one, but you send 3, something special.
That's right.
Jason Hill coached 2 of those teams. One of the best to do it. Jaron Purify was quite the star on that team, as was Reggie Sharp. Matthew Green was on that team as well.
Quarter finalists, were they not? 2017 and 2018?
I know there was one year where it was they made a nice little run.
Yeah. Swing and a miss. Brustevich is coming back with a nice little run of his own. And he has struck out the number 1 and 2 hitters after both of those fellas were able to reach against him the first time around.
Yeah, Purify with the bomb in the first inning, and Sharp took one to the head.
Yep.
And that's how they put together those 2 runs in the first. Parker trying to drop one in there to start. So here's the situation. Matthew Green, smart hitter. He's probably going to sit fastball here. We'll see what happens.
The 1-0 is a
didn't want to give it to him.
Breaking ball. Brustevich perhaps thinking backwards.
Yeah, and that's because Matthew Green is a fastball feaster, and he knows it. But Parker working quick, waiting for him in the box here.
Strike over. You know what I am? I'm a Easter feaster. And since that just happened, I'm feeling a little bloated today. How about you?
It's a food coma hangover. My grandma from the West Virginia, the deep south, she, well, I wouldn't say the deep south, but the south, all the same. She's quite the cook and made a great feast for us, so nice. I think she was planning on tuning in, so if she stuck around this long through our power outages, then I want to give her a shout-out.
Give a shout-out to Grandma.
Great dinner, as always. She's
what was the best thing she did?
Oh, her mac and cheese is timeless.
Really?
It just doesn't get old.
What's the best? What does she do well with the mac and cheese?
There's just this consistency from noodle to noodle, pan to, start of the pan, end of the pan. It's all the same, and it's all delicious. It's old home style type of mac and cheese. It's like what you get from home. I don't really know how to describe it. It's just it's
raw,
delicious.
Good ingredients.
It's delicious.
A lot of juice. I'm sure fat-free.
Yeah, the ingredients are made with love. Nutrition doesn't count when she makes it. You just can't. You can't count calories when Grandma's making food.
Oh, Mountaineer love.
Oh, she's a West Virginia diehard. She's had a tough couple of years trying to cheer for them, though, in many sports. They haven't been the same.
No, since good old Huggy. There's a pop-up down the right field line coming over as Schubert near the line makes the catch, and Liggett strands a base runner. 3-2 St. Mary's as we go to the top of the fourth. Eaglets looking for a sweep, looking for their 11th win on the year and their 33rd straight.
With your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. It's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
I want to thank our friends at 2SP. You can contact them and contact us at 2spsports.com. Locations all over the place. Got to get one downriver. Waterford, Shelby Township, Madison Heights, Farmington Hills. 10% off on your training when you mention the prep. And good folks over there. Find them on social. 2spsports.com. Some of the finest training you'll find anywhere. Jack Jones out to start the fourth inning. And he will face Jake Dresselhaus, who pounds one deep to right center field, going back, and that ball is out of here. Jake Dresselhaus bangs one out, and the Eaglets have taken a 4-2 lead over Liggett.
Sat on that one, saw it out of the hand, let it drift to the barrel, and sent it packing. That was a typical Dresselhaus bomb. He's an all-fields hitter, does it all well. Let's get a look here.
This is his fourth of the year, and opposite field home run power. We mentioned some wind going, Brandon, but that one got out in a hurry.
That ball was hit hard, and you'll see, you saw in that replay there, Dresselhaus comes to that front foot, gets that down before the swing action starts, holds the weight back, reads the, he read the breaking ball in the middle of the path there, sat on it and sent it, but a good piece of hitting. If you're a young hitter at home, you're seeing that front foot come down early. That's because he's trying to see how that pitch is going to develop from the hand to the plate. And he saw the long break. And when you get down like that and you're in that strong, ready position, you're able to hold that weight back until that ball sees its last break. And he did what Dresselhaus does. Sent the ball over the fence.
Crichton with two doubles today. One was an RBI scoring double. Pops it up here. What do you tell young hitters? How do you tell them to buy time and wait that extra? What is it mentally that you tell them to tell themselves to sort of delay that process?
It's really a mind and body connection, and a lot of those things come when you get older and understand it and really dive into the mental side of baseball, because there's so much form and so much so many mechanics and technical things you want to work on, but at the end of the day, you really need to be able to connect your back leg, because that's what loads. Your front leg doesn't load. Your back leg loads your front leg's time. So when you can come to terms with that and then start to work on it mentally, it starts to just become muscle memory. Because at the end of the day, this whole sport is muscle memory, right? And it's putting your muscles in the classroom and saying, hey, here's the things we're going to do, and we're going to repetition throughout the winter, so that when spring and summer comes, it's secondhand nature for us to make these actions.
Yeah.
So it's game of consistency.
Sure. There's a nice backhanded play, throw to first, and they get Jack Crichton, who runs well. Fine scoop by Barr, and a nice play at the hot corner by his brother Preston.
Yeah, a little bar-to-bar love there. And that was a great play. See that? Yep. Works through the plane. And that's one thing about, playing the infield. Young guys listening at home, you got to match the plane where that ball is going. That's exactly what he did there. Saw the hop was going to end up right where his glove was and played it perfectly. And a nice one-hopper up down to first base. Nothing wrong with when you're off balance like that. It's going to hurt you more to try and force a good throw rather than to just throw a one-hopper and hope for the best. You're not going to get the same velo, but you're going to be on target, and Crichton's a guy that runs as well as anyone, so if he's able to get him, he's probably able to get most on that play.
No doubt. Preston Barr started as a freshman. He's just a sophomore. He's a Michigan commit and a good one. Here's Nolan Schubert, a Michigan commit himself. And he fouls one back. 4-2 St. Mary's. They got 2 in the first, 1 in the second, and 1 here in the fourth. On the 24th home run of the year by Orchard Lake St. Mary's here in game number 11.
See where Jones goes with this one. Probably buries another. Yep.
Got him. Off speed, down and away. Second out of the inning. And the second strikeout on the day for Nolan Schubert.
Well, they pitched well to Schubert. You don't see that happen too often, but they've relied on a lot of off speed. It's worked. See what they do here with Ike Irish.
It's the 5th strikeout of the day recorded by Mr. Jones. The issue is he's walked 6. There's a swing and a drive down the left field line, slicing in the corner. It's off the wall. Irish around first, head to second, and it's the 6th hit of the game. And Ike Irish has a 2-out double.
It's great stuff for Mike Irish. Watch this here. Liggett's got a full shift going. They have completely pulled him to the right, and he takes the ball the other way. So the kids at home trying to pull the ball all the time. Mike Irish, probably an MLB draft pick. At the very least, an future Auburn catcher in the SEC. He goes the other way. That's one thing when they say to ban the shifts. Don't ban the shift, just beat the shifts. That's exactly what Ike Irish just did.
He did. It's his second double of the day. He's had 1 in each game. He had no doubles entering competition. And he's had 2 here today, 1 in each contest. And now his runner that's representing him, Aiden Donovan, is at third base with 2 outs. And another pass ball / wild pitch. I had talked to Dan Cimini in between games, and he said, it's just one of those things where we're just not feeling the ball right now.
It looked like that was a similar situation to in the first game where Orchard Lake had a runner on second, and Liggett went to their signs where what happens is the catcher mixes in multiple signs, and the pitcher and catcher on the same page that the sign's going to be let's just say the second sign out of the 4 that he flashes. But it looked like he got crossed up there because
Grimmer pounds one deep to center field, going back, and that ball is gone. Grimmer's done it again. His second dong of the game. St. Mary's now leads 6-2 on the Grimmer bomb.
Yeah, and Blake Grimmer he's hot right now. He has been since the beginning of the year. We all long awaited the arrival of Blake Grimmer in Michigan high school baseball, his first season as a junior, and he has delivered. This is a beautiful piece of swinging here. Let's take a look.
Straight away center field. And this kid's power is just stares you at the face. Into the wind a bit, center field pounds it. I know it's not the deepest of center fields, but it is a tall wall out there, and an admirable shot.
Yeah, it was a no-doubter. No doubter. He does a great job of getting his hips through the zone with that trigger that he has. I know we got a pitching change here if you want to address that.
Yep. Dan Cimini has gone to the mound, and he's going to bring in his third baseman, Preston Barr. So this will be the second Barr of the day. And Preston Barr, the right-hander, the Michigan commit, the sophomore, a guy, again, that we saw last year as a freshman on varsity. And your thoughts on this kid, this young arm, and a guy that's really done some nice things for Liggett in his short career.
Yeah, it's intriguing, and Liggett is continuing to build what they have here, because between Barr and Illich, they're going to have two young arms that are going to serve them just as well as Jack Jones has so far through his tenure, and what Kurt has been able to do in the past couple of seasons. So I think that Preston's just another one of those guys for them. He's got an interesting arsenal of pitches here. They all have movement on the fastball, similar to his brother. Arm side run on the straight one. I believe he's probably going to mix in a sinker the same way his brother does. And then the off speed is good too. It's a long, lanky curve and a slider. So, again, another guy that's above and beyond his age group. The IQ is high on the mound. And so Liggett maybe not well equipped to win a game like this one. But in every other scenario in the state, they are well equipped to beat anybody.
Yep. Well said. Blue Lion Fitness, one of our proud sponsors, located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Dan Roth and the hardworking, hard-training folks out on the west side doing great things. Check them out on Instagram, Blue Lion Fitness, bluelionfitness.com. And we are back to action with a new pitcher. And again, this is Preston Barr, the 6'2" sophomore. And his first batter that he'll face is Ryan Minnie McKay.
Mr. Do-It-All, Minnie McKay. A lot of good stories about this one here.
Yeah, what can you say best about him?
Oh, geez, he's just he is who he is. He is a very authentic person, and he's consistent. He's always the same dude. He doesn't act different around other people. He's always the same guy. He acts the same way with his Eaglets that he did with our summer team for the 2 years he was with us. And he's a great leader, vocal leader, and a lead by example. A lot of times it's always one or the other, but this guy leads vocally and by example. He's 10 seconds in and out of the dugout. If he lines out, he's still completing the run to first base. If he strikes out, he's jogging back. It doesn't matter. It's death taxes, Minnie McKay. He's as consistent as they come.
He is a clutch player as well. He draws a walk here, the Michigan State commit, and that will bring up the guy who may be the hottest in the lineup right now for St. Mary's. It's Jason Oliver.
Yeah, Jason Oliver has found some heat here today. He's been aggressive.
3 hits in game one. He has 1 hit here, and he's got another one coming there. That ball is long gone. Jolly Ollie has gone oppo here in Grosse Pointe, and it's now 8-2, Orchard Lake St. Mary's.
Chad, we talked an inning ago about how Liggett had an opportunity at 3-2 with that game, and I said, they knew that it should not be that close based on the box score, and they needed something that inning or it was probably going to blow open, and we're seeing that here with this hit from Oliver.
Another opposite field home run, and we knew it was blown out to right, but Oliver here goes all the way down the corner and the 315 down the line.
Yeah, it's consistency at the plate. We keep talking about that barrel, getting into the zone early and giving you forgiveness on your timing. So Jason Oliver was a little late on that one, but it didn't matter. He caught the barrel well enough to put a ball where, hey, maybe that's a fly ball in other parks, sure. But it went over here and it worked out. And he played the park, and that's what you got to do in baseball. You got to play the park. And that's still a barrel. That's still probably at least a double in most others. So hats off to Oliver there doing what he had to do with that pitch on the outer half.
It's his 5th hit of the day and his 3rd RBI. So 5 hits, 3 RBIs for Oliver. The inning is over as Cowdery strikes out, but damage done. The Eaglets put up a crooked number here in the 4th. They lead it 8-2 as we go to the home half of the inning.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player, and I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Core bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, took my advice, trying to figure out what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had. It's like really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB4 bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB4 bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB4 bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit velos and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB4 bats. Yeah, just overall, it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use it. Yeah, super excited.
Welcome back to Grosse Pointe. Alex Westfall, your executive producer. His name is Brandon Justice. Glad to have him on color commentary. My name is Chad Bush. His name is Parker Brustewicz. Brzustewicz. If you're scoring at home, the pitch to service is in the dirt, down and away. The count is 1-1, so it'll be service to lead things off, and it'll be followed. He'll be followed by Barr and Jones.
I heard if you say his last name 3 times in a row in the mirror, he shows up.
There's a line shot fouled back, and it nearly nipped the monitor or Brandon Cardenas. How about that? My goodness, guys.
It's a heat check right there.
Act like you've seen a line shot come back to the screen before. There's a ground ball hit sharply to short. Backhanded by Oliver. He'll have no play. Oliver to Oliver again, and this time goes to the way of service.
Yeah, it's a tough play to make there by Oliver. He, you see on the replay here, his balance and momentum was carrying a little bit to his glove side on the hit. So he's got to work against his momentum to go make this backhanded play. So you'll see here.
Oh, that's the replay.
Oh, that's the replay.
That's Brandon Cardenas. He's got a little downriver. You got some downriver brother down
we got
here.
some downriver, some blood in here.
Bookend downriver guys. That's why this thing's staying together.
Lincoln Park and Trenton.
Representing. Watch out now. Good size lead off of first. Down 6 runs. I'm not sure Dan Cimini's interested in stealing service.
They're going to check him, though.
But he's worth checking. Sometimes you got to check in for service.
Sure do.
Sorry, I'm a bit delirious.
You know, these guys jumping at the foul ball makes me think of when I had to go to hockey games when I was younger, and I had the same reaction. So I understand. It took me a minute. I was judging you guys at first, but
it's clear. It's black. It's like glass. You know, that one's scary. This one is a net. There's nothing. They're not blowing through that net. Come on, Brandon.
They might have been more worried about your equipment.
There goes the runner. It's fouled off the glove. It's not fouled. It's clean, and the runner is out. It's a strikeout.
So usually when you're on a straight steal sign and you're in a count with less than 2 strikes, you're going to have your batter swing to protect. So he wasn't swinging to protect there. Maybe not even a hit and run. Maybe it was just a swing to swing. However, in turn, it did that job. It did protect the hitter because that's a tough catch to make for Ike Irish, to have to see the bat come through the zone and concentrate on the ball hitting the net.
There's a line shot in the gap, and that is down off the bat of into score comes service. So it's a base hit to right.
Yeah, nice piece of hitting there by Ryan Jones.
Thank you.
Just went the other way. Just went the other way, inside out swing. He was late, but like we continue to talk about the barrel getting into the zone, and he was on plane and was able to work with that pitch with the inside out swing.
So 8-3 now with the Jones RBI double. And so Liggett comes back and answers here in the bottom half of the 4th. They've got a runner on at second. And Dan Cimini down to have some words.
Let's see what's going on here. We got 1 out and a guy on second in an 8-3 game. So you're probably thinking free swinging letting your players try to get you back in this game as best you can. You can't really afford the sacrifices of small ball here. You got to stick with one out and keep rallying.
Brandon Skorupski will get up in the Eaglet bullpen. Runner at second, one out. 8-3 game. Fastball misses outside for Parker Brustevich, the sophomore two-way guy, making his second start of the year. That one's fouled back. Brustevich is making his fourth appearance. He entered 2-0 and just 7 innings pitched. He's almost dealt 4 innings here today.
Yeah, Brustevich is a very consistent guy on the mound for the Eaglets. He's a strike thrower who's beginning to uncover what else he's capable of on the mound besides just being a strike thrower. And the curveball has developed well. The arm is moving up velo-wise year by year. Once that body fills out, I mean, he's got quite the frame. I think he's, 6'3", 6'4", around there. So
just a young kid. At what point do you tell a strike thrower not to be a strike thrower? And hey, it's not that we don't want you to throw strikes, but mix something in now and again that's going to throw them off a bit.
I mean, when you have the ability to throw, there's two sides of it. If you have the ability to throw your fastball by people and you can trust it to strike guys out, then you're able to not have to focus so much on being that strike thrower, because you can rely on your velocity to get past bats. But when you have guys who can't get past bats with their velocity, those guys are kind of forced to become strike throwers.
Sure.
And then conversely, if you can't get your secondary pitches over, then you got to focus on that, right? But with Parker's case, he's locating both pitches well. I think he's mixed in a change too, and he's located all 3 pitches well despite the walk on the last at bat. So he doesn't have to focus on that as much right now.
Throw down to second, and it's in center field, and no need to go anywhere.
Looks like just a bad grip there from Irish. Anytime you have a ball go straight into the ground from your catcher, which is not completely uncommon, it's just a grip problem, and it's tough to get a grip on the ball right now in this cold weather. So.
Preston Barr at first, Jack Jones at second, Joey Randazzo the batter. And a 1-1 count with 1 out. Brustevich deals. Fouled straight back, and Cardenas having some cardiac concerns.
A little deja vu for the rail splitter.
Yeah, the rail splitter. I love it. I love it. Rail splitter reference. You get an ice cold coffee, sir. Runner's edge off first and second. That is Uncle Snappy, and that will break you. A backwards K. Brustevich has the strikeout.
And there it is. Just talked about it. Brustevich is locating all 3 pitches well. He's feeling them all well. He's confident in all 3 of them, and that's where you start to uncover what you're capable of. And he's going to break this from the shoulder to the knees, and that's just right how you drew it up.
This is a guy that has shown signs of being a Division I player as both a pitcher and a fielder or a position player. He's just committed his 8th strikeout.
Yeah, this guy is definitely a two-way guy at the next level, and my jaw would drop if Brustevich does not end up becoming a Division I baseball player. He is fitting into a lineup that is as loaded as any lineup we've ever seen in Michigan high school baseball, and he's rightfully so fitted into it. And he's going on the mound now, and I don't think we have a velo count, but he's probably sitting in the low to mid-80 mark. He continues to get better, but here's the thing. If you're a college coach and you're watching this guy play, the first thing you're looking at is the frame. You're seeing that frame, and you're thinking about what you can do with it in your program, your strength and conditioning program, and it's pretty fascinating what he can do. And he's already polished. He's mechanically, as a ball player, and the IQ that he has in baseball, it's all there. All the intangibles are there, really. It's just taking his body and developing it, and that's inevitable, and that's going to happen.
Full count, runners will be on the move with 2 outs. The pitch to Purify. Got him on strikes. Brustevich's 9th strikeout of the day. And his bench explodes. Liggett leaves 2. They get 1. We go to the top of the 5th. St. Mary's by 5, 8-3.
participate.
Where does greatness start? Here, in the classroom.
On the diamond.
In the pool.
On the field.
Where will your greatness take you?
To better grades.
To more friends.
Yeah! Be great.
Participate!
Welcome back to Grosse Pointe Liggett. My name is Chad Bush here on the Prep. Long Ball Live, we call it. Dan Samini, the head coach. Joe Loria and Diggs Edwards are his assistants. Orchard Lake St. Mary's is coached by Matt Petrie and assisted by Dan Petrie, Theo Piccarelli, and Aaron Wilson. Tyler Fenzel, their director of baseball operations. Nick Yakubel and A.J. Michaels, their student managers. All right, we are set to go here in the fifth. Brandon Justice and Chad Bush with you. And this is Preston Barr, the sophomore. And he fires a fastball at the knees on the outside corner for a strike.
That was a really lovely catch by Oliver Service. Working the clock, got it in an inverted angle and twisted it to even with the glove and got the strike, maybe lower than usual. But
this is Kyle Crockett. He strikes out in a pinch hitting role and is a victim of Mr. Barr, who's come on in relief of Jack Jones. That's his second strikeout.
yeah, a lot to like about the arsenal that we've had so far out of Preston Barr. That breaker is looking like a 12-6 almost. You don't see that too often out of the younger arms, but it's the toughest thing to hit. Why the toughest thing to hit? Because it stays on the same plane until it breaks the last second, and your eyes are focused on that ball coming in at your hips, which looks like a pretty pitch, tongue out, kind of like Rookie of the Year, if you ever seen that one.
Yeah.
And then it drops, falls off the table.
Chopper to third, Randazzo throws to first to Barr, and it's quickly 2 outs here in the St. Mary's fifth inning. St. Mary's trying to win for the 34th straight time, dating back to last year, following a loss to Saline, their only loss yet last year, and their 43-1 record on their way to the school's fifth state title and first national title ever for this school.
You saw that breaker was almost like a slurve. And that we talked about picking up seams earlier with Crichton, who does such a good job at picking up spin. Well, the 12-6 spins like a fastball.
Yeah.
You know, the rotation is like a fastball, and that's why it's so hard to pick up, because not only does it stay on that same plane and drop below it, it also spins the same way. When you're looking at a curveball or a slider, it's going to rotate differently. And that's what Crichton is so good at picking up on. But
yeah,
as good of a hitter as he is, it's even for him, it's difficult to pick up a 12-6 because of the nature of how similar that spin is to a fastball.
Yep. 2 for 3 today as he walks here. Crichton with an RBI and continues to stay on base. His third time on base in this game. And that'll bring up the number 3 hitter, Nolan Schubert, who's been a bit quiet today as the wind continues to whip at a 19-mile-an-hour gust here in Grosse Pointe.
Yeah, the last time we mentioned an unusual struggle was Jack Crichton, and he responded with a couple of doubles. So we'll see if Nolan Schubert finds a way to heat up here. Like you said, a little bit of a slow day for him today, contrary to the usual for him.
Yeah. Working here against Preston Barr. There goes the runner. Throw down to second, no chance. Jack had a great jump. He runs well, and now he's in scoring position with 2 outs here in the top of the fifth.
And they've attacked Schubert. Each pitcher for Liggett has attacked Schubert in a similar way, throwing something at the belt that's going to fall off around the back foot, and it's worked well. Yeah. Same thing. Same pitch. That one's a little bit more on the outside, and they've been breaking more in on the hands, so I would not be shocked. What do we got here? 2-2 count. I wouldn't be shocked if he goes back to the same thing. It's worked for them against Schubert today, and he's not a guy you can make a mistake on.
Yep. He struck out twice today. Shadows cast, the throwback play, not going to work against the 2-sport star Jack Crichton, committed to Michigan. The power numbers are coming this year. Already a couple of home runs. and already 3 doubles.
Yep, same thing. See, he's starting to pick up on it. He didn't throw those last 2 as well as he threw the first one. But it's at 4 straight breakers in the dirt to Schubert. Full count here. He's might have to force something here. This might be the one here for Schubert here because something tells me he's going to force a fastball.
The full count pitch.
Still won't.
Lifted out of play.
So that tells you what kind of hitter you're dealing with here. Full count, still throwing breakers, 5 breakers in a row. Now, granted, it looks like Barr has 2 different breakers with a slider and the curve, but anytime you're throwing the same pitch 4 or 5 times to someone, it says everything you need to know about how you fear them.
There goes the runner. 2-2 is a ball. And Crichton will steal his second base of the inning. Schubert on at first, runners at the corners. And here comes Ike Irish.
That was a great at-bat there from Schubert, who got fooled by a breaker in the dirt early on in the count, but was able to defend the plate for the rest of it. Did not bite on any of them, and then got the high and outside fastball out of the zone in the final pitch and took first base for free because of it. So now you got Ike Irish, probably hey, if you had to pick one hitter that's the best hitter in this lineup, this is probably the guy. So with 2 outs, this is who you want. Notice they do not have the shift this time around.
No shift. Irish beat him last time with a shift. He laced a double to left.
Center fielder's shading a bit into right, but the left fielder's playing for the most part straight up, and they're not going to get beat on that twice. But that opens a huge gap in left center.
Yep.
So we'll see if he attacks that.
There's a shot right at the shortstop. Purify with a fine play and fires to first. Showing off the arm and the glove. How about it? Purify ends the inning, and St. Mary's gets out of it without scoring. How about this look, Brandon?
Whew. Ozzie Smith, even in the blues.
Gotta love it. Let's head to the 5th. We are the Prep. Long ball live.
We begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag GBrandUSA. GBrandUSA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
Oh, the sun's starting to set. We're losing a little bit of daylight, but we're going to stick around for a little bit. This guy's worth sticking around for. It's 5'9" senior Brandon Skorupski, who comes into the ballgame and replaces Parker Brustevich, whose day is done. He's in line for his 3rd win of the year. But it's time to tell the folks about Brandon Skorupski, the senior left-hander committed to Davenport.
Yeah, Brandon Skorupski's a guy you got to love to watch if you're into pitching and the art of pitching. He sequences extremely well. He funnels the ball well. And when we say funneling, what we mean is he's going to attack a location with one pitch, maybe the fastball, and then attack that same location with an off-speed. Because to the hitter's eye, it looks like it's the same pitch he previously got. And that's some high IQ stuff, and that's what Skorupski, they call him Skrups. That's what he's capable of. So he's a junker. You know, if you're at home and you know some terms about baseball loosely, then you probably know what a junk baller is. And I wouldn't say Skrups is purely a junk baller. He's got some velo on the fastball as well, but that is certainly a specialty, and that's what's gotten him a commitment to Davenport, where he will certainly have 4 successful years there.
This is his 4th appearance on the year. He'll face Reggie Sharp to lead things off, the number 2 hitter for Dan Samini. Skorupski comes in 5 innings of work. He started 1 game. He's 1-0, and he has given up 10 5 walks against 10 strikeouts. He had a rough first outing of the year. A lot of guys, you'll see that, and it's not an excuse, but Skorupski's line after his first outing was a bit inaccurate against Catholic Central, but this is a kid that is really around the strike zone. 12-6 breaking ball, as you mentioned before. And he's got some real location advantages when he's on the mound. This kid throws strikes.
Yeah, and that's the thing. With a guy like him, a ball to him is a strike. Like throwing that ball in the dirt, he's not frustrated about that. That's what he wanted to do with it, because more times than not, he's getting guys out with that pitch.
Yep.
So he's able to be creative and poke around and kind of play a little bit of darts with this, like a game of 3-on-1 with the strike zone. Except for he can throw it away from the board and it can still count.
That's right. Must be nice to have. Reggie Sharp is the second baseman, one of the best ones in the state. He's a sophomore, and he watches one bounce up there. The count is 2-2.
Yeah, between McKay and Sharp on both sides, 2 of the best second basemen in the state.
You're not kidding.
See what Reggie can do here. He's had a little bit of got hit in the head earlier, and besides that, a little bit of a rough day at the plate.
Got him on strikes. Foul tipped into the glove. Caught by Cowdery. And out on strikes. Is that Ike Irish still back there?
Still Ike, grinding.
You put that Cowdery in my mind earlier,
Yeah.
and I still got him back there catching. But this is the Iron Man Ike.
Yeah, it sure is Iron Man Ike. It's a good way to say it. He's, what are we at? We're at the 5th inning here, so he's 12 innings strong today.
That's right.
Credit to him.
There is a hit by pitch and a spin and a sprint by Matthew Green. Did you teach him that?
Love it. That's something that we did at Arsenal. I don't know if I can take credit for teaching him it. I think that
is that Mike Rice thing?
David Cole deserves all the credit there. Central Michigan, he kind of made that, popularized it here in the state when they had the Chippewas had their World Series run a couple years ago. And
center fielder pitcher.
He got hit by the pitch and got back up and sprinted to first base, and I saw that, loved it, and told our guys to start doing it because you heard the dugout. I mean, hey, it's 8-3. You're probably going to lose this game, and your dugout's still getting rowdy over a guy getting hit only because he sprinted, right? And it's just any way you can create that energy, that culture, in any way you can do it in a positive way. That's not going to – it doesn't hurt the other team. Umpires aren't going to get mad about it.
Right.
I mean, that's just simple stuff. That's just you're sprinting to first base. It ain't that hard to do, and nobody's going to get mad at it. It's just gonna infuse energy into your team and have some fun with it. And that's Matthew Green being a leader too. Like we said, he's been doing it all day.
Center fielder, pitcher, Dan Cimini very happy with the way he threw after catching up with him. We'll talk to Dan after this one. Swing and a miss.
That's a beautiful pitch, and that's what Scrubs does so well. You saw him come with the fastball over the middle there, and then comes back and takes the changeup on the string and drops it right over, and he swings right through it. Just how you draw it up.
Working from the third base side of the rubber, runner on first and back. Of course, always a threat from that left side to control the run game a bit better. Skorupski does that too. They had plans to start him this year and work him as a starter, but his natural role has been as a reliever. There's a line shot deep to left center field. This one is deep, and this one is off the wall. This is going to score a run. Into score comes Green. It's going to be a double for Ryan Jones, and it's now 8-4. The Knights have cut the lead in half.
How about Ryan Jones? Jack Jones is the commit in the family, going to Michigan State. So Ryan Jones kind of floats under the radar a bit, but look at this swing here. Just pure, right? Just pure. Gets the foot down, hips through, barrel through the zone, and that ball is going to the fence. That's his second hit of this game. I believe his second double, too. So he's starting to heat up at the plate, and that's big for Liggett because you look at the top half of Liggett's lineup, it's loaded with Purify and Service and Sharp and Matthew Green. But the second half is good, and Barr as well, but the second half is good, but it needs guys like Jones to step up from last year to this year, and we're seeing that happen here today, and we'll see if it carries on throughout the year. I bet it will. The frame is just – it's easy to get excited about the frame. If he can put that all together at the plate, he can be another dangerous asset to that lineup.
Here comes the Texas commit, Oliver Service, and he looks at a off-speed pitch in the dirt, stopped by Irish. The runner at second is Ryan Jones, who's just driven in the fourth run of the game.
See what happens here. One swing of the bat, it's a whole new ball game.
Sharply grounded foul. There's some stretching in the Liggett bullpen. Kieran Cowie now will do some light tossing. But this is a spot where they'd like Skorupski to close the door and not have to get to Cowie. Again, the Eaglets will play tomorrow in Cleveland against a top 15 team in the state of Ohio in St. Ignatius, before moving on to Columbus and taking on some of the best in the state of Ohio.
Yeah, this St. Mary's team, they're a ball club. They'll show up to the park and play, Sandlot. And, you know, with all the talent they have, they could easily get away with not being that, but they are that. And I think that's what allows them to reach that ceiling that they reached last year and that they've, you know, experienced here so far this year. It's interesting, the sequences here from Scrubs. He's gone 3 straight off speed. See what he does here.
Full count pitch. Got him on strikes.
Boom. There it is. So you go 3 straight off speed and you sacrifice throwing 2 balls, but you give yourself the opportunity to have a kid sitting dead on off speed and you blow the fastball by him. And Scrubs does not have a fastball that blows by. But because of the sequence, he's able to. And he's behind that. You know, he's behind that pitch.
Yep. And so with service gone, that's going to bring up Kurt Barr. Barr 0 for 2 in this game, has struck out. Skorupski now has 2 strikeouts in this inning, both outs recorded. He has given up a hit and given up a run. He's responsible for the runner at second. 8-4. Liggett has scored in back-to-back innings, a single run. Pitch in the dirt, nowhere to go, as the runner, Jones, scampers back to second.
That's the first time we saw a first pitch fastball out of Skorupski here this inning, and then comes back with the buried one here. So he's attacked both levels. Wouldn't be shocked to see a high fastball here, maybe raise the eye level. Well, it's a fastball, but not high.
This one is looped down the right field line. In comes Schubert, and he drops the baseball. Into score comes Ryan Jones. So it's going to be ruled an error on Schubert, but a run is in, the second run of the inning, and it's 8-5. Here comes Liggett. This one's far from over.
That was odd. It was almost like the ball took a timeshare into the glove, but got out early. And that's exactly what happened, yep. Palmed it. Just missed the pocket. Squeezed a little too early. Wind's tough. Right field's working against you. Got to read that tail. But Shubes has been out there for a couple of years, so he knows what he did, and he'll recover.
Yeah.
See what happens here. 8-5, got a little bit of a new ball game.
We have a ball game. Kurt Barr is on at first. They will not give him an RBI there, but it's 5 runs in now for Liggett. 5 runs on 5 hits, no errors. 8 runs on 8 hits, 1 error for St. Mary's. And this one is popped up foul out of play.
You think about how this inning started with Matthew Green, that sprint to first base, and it was 8-3 and nobody was on.
That's right. That's right.
Guy gets your dugout going, everyone kind of wakes up, and here we are. Not saying that's the root of it all. I think the root of it all was the hit from Ryan Jones, but either way, getting things jump-started, a little bit of an energizer bunny.
Yeah.
You need it. You need it in your dugout, and I think that's what Samini had last year with that Liggett team was they never really were down and out of it. Every inning was treated the same, and they had the same energy in every inning. And, that was what allowed them to have a rally last year against St. Mary's. They didn't win, but they had a rally, and they came out short last game, but similar fight.
Swing and a miss. Down on strikes is Jones, but not before 2 runs are in. And the Liggett rally has got him to within 3. We go to the top of the 6th. Do not go anywhere. We are the Prep.
What I could tell right off the start was that they were really about the player. And I just got out of high school, so I was using BB Core bats for the past 3 or 4 years. When y'all came to me, took my advice, trying to figure out what we wanted, what I learned in high school about bats, and what I wish I had, it's really cool to be a part of. I can't remember the last time that I hit balls that far with a BB Core bat or as hard. Definitely the best BB Core bat I've ever swung in my life. And I've swung plenty of BB Core bats. The numbers can prove it too, because the numbers that I was getting on my exit velos and the distance, I really didn't get close to that in some of the other BB Corps bats. Yeah, just overall, it's been really fun. Know that you were a part of it and that a lot of kids are going to love to use it. Yeah, super excited.
Yeah, if you could like us on our socials, we'd appreciate it. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and even that thing they call TikTok. You can also become a sponsor. We wish you would. Long Ball Live is taking sponsors now. We just got one yesterday. G-Brand. We're looking for more. Info at theprepsports.com. Get at us. We'd love to have you join our club. This is Blake Grimmer, the University of Tennessee commit, and he will face Preston Barr in what's become a big sixth inning now, Brandon. This is no longer a blowout. Three runs the last 2 innings for Liggett.
And they're finding their way back into it. A lot of fight. You saw Blake Grimmer shake off a little bit after that first pitch because he got a hanger, and he knew it right after the ball was caught. He could have sat back and drove it, but your approach at the plate is you're not swinging at off speed in the first pitch, so you can't blame him, but he knows what he missed there, and here's a little dribbler.
Tapper back to the mound is handled. Grimmer, who's had one of 3 home runs for St. Mary's in this game 2. 3 home runs on the day. Dresselhaus, Oliver, and Grimmer. As we take a look at this nice placed pitch by Mr. Barr.
Yeah, it's perfectly placed right at the bottom of the zone. It's going to start at the knees, break towards the shin, and it's going to get him on top of it and off balance. And that's how you got to pitch to these guys, these eaglets. You got to keep them off balance as best you can. You got to put yourself in counts that are, advantageous. Anytime you're in a bad count, they're going to sit on one pitch, and they're going to drive it, as we've seen evidence today. So here's Barr, back-to-back first pitch, off-speed pitches. We'll see what he does here. I have a hard time thinking he's going to throw a fastball. He does.
He does, and he fouls it away. McKay has scored a run today. He's been on base via the walk in this game. Scored one of the 8 runs for St. Mary's. 3 runs scored for Dresselhaus, the leadoff man.
And McKay's a tough out. See what he does here.
Just off the plate. McKay last year drove in 30 runs. You'll recall the big triple he hit in the Catholic League championship game against Brother Rice. As the pitch misses.
And a full count here. Minnie McKay, no stranger to full counts. You remember the CHSL final last year, had a full count against the Brother Rice pitcher for seemingly a year until he finally hit that triple.
Yeah. Drove in 50 runs last year. I can't read my own notes. McKay's on at first. Don't want to do him injustice by 20 RBIs. My goodness. Dan Cimini's marching out there quickly, and I think he's looking to make a move potentially.
We'll see what happens here. Dan Cimini probably just rallying the troops. He knows Minnie McKay likes to move. Ryan McKay, as good of a base runner as there is, worked a lot. You mentioned it earlier, worked a lot on the physicality, getting stronger physically. He's also gotten a lot faster and a lot quicker. The foot speed is legit. And we saw it earlier when he nearly ran out a ground ball, but the IQ on the base path for him is next level. He's able to read movements from the pitcher, read sequences on the pitches. He loves to run on off speed and is advantageous doing it. So we'll see what he does here. Would not be shocked to see him move though. Maybe even a hit and run. Hit between him and Oliver. This is a nice 1-2 punch to work with for Coach Petrie.
Here you see Dan Cimini in his 18th year, 5 state titles, 87 grad of Grosse Pointe South. Fastball fouled right back.
So it comes with the fastball here. Oliver's a fastball hitter, so he's probably not going to come back with it. And this is probably a situation where you would like to see Ryan McKay move. We'll see what happens, but this is something where you might see a ball in the dirt and you're safe either way, but we'll see.
5 hits, 3 RBIs on the day for the Michigan commit Oliver. The base runner's moving, throw down to second, and it's not in time to get the speedy Ryan McKay, who's improved his speed in the offseason at 2SP, and he is really changed his physique a bit, and his tools have improved.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's similar to we talked about Parker Bruskevich earlier, where they just do a lot of the intangibles and the simple things right. They don't make mistakes. They just have to really – what they were trying to do was make their ceiling go higher and higher and higher, and that's exactly what they've both done. But McKay at a different level as an older one, so we'll see probably Parker take the same jumps. What's the difference between the two, though? Parker's about 6'3", Minnie's about 5'6", and what McKay has been able to do, I mean, he's a Division I baseball commit before his junior season started with all of those things in mind, with the frame and with the questions about if the frame's going to work at the next level. And I'll tell you what, when he was a freshman in high school, we were coaching him in the summer, and he came to me and said, what do I need to do to get better? What do I need to do to play college baseball? I said, you do everything right. You're just slow, and you're a little chubby. So what did he do? He spent 2 years, and he's continuing to do these things, but he spent the past 2 years physically taking his game to a next level. Last summer, he had improved from the year before, and then now, a year later, improved more from then. So a lot of kids will get satisfied with that first increase. McKay's not that kind of kid. He just continues and continues and continues to build on it, and we've seen it firsthand. And, you know, when he was at first base on that count there, where he was able to move. Now, we end up at first and second regardless, but, you know, if Oliver gets a pitch to hit there, all of a sudden he turns that to a run. That's the kind of player you get, McKay. I don't even know if there was a sign on, and it doesn't necessarily have to be he's a free runner because of the IQ he has on the base path. So, you know, he just changes the game. He just really changes the game for your team. He makes the guys around him smarter, makes the guys around him better. He's an ideal glue guy and a centerpiece sometimes. You know, I think he could be that for Michigan State when he goes there. I would be shocked if the Spartans don't find a way to put him into their lineup right away. Michigan State's, you know, baseball program, not on the same level as Michigan's from the grand scheme of things in the bigger picture, but still a Big Ten Power 5 team, so it's pretty regular for a guy like him to go there in redshirt. I don't see that happening. I don't know how you can leave a guy like that off the field.
Right. No, I'm with you.
We're looking at Matthew Green again. We talked about this earlier. Didn't throw a lot of pitches last game, but he was the only one that had success against St. Mary's' lineup. They're in a squeeze here with one out, guys on first and second, but they're in striking distance. So what Coach Cimini sees is a window of opportunity for his team to stay in the game, but he knows one swing of the bat and they're out of it again. So he's going to bring in the only guy who's had success against these bats all day, and that's Matthew Green. So we'll see what happens here. I like the move by Cimini. I like the move.
Green went 2 innings in game one, closed out the game, gave up just 1 hit, and as Brandon said, was effective. 5 strikeouts against just 1 walk. So Matthew Green on in relief. This is a very good student as well. Guy that's going to go to Michigan and walk on. 4.25 GPA. And these are guys that you can bring into your program and feel good about academically. You've told us what kind of human being he is and a good kid. And now he's being tasked with limiting St. Mary's to just a 3-run advantage with 2 men on and 1 out. And Parker Bruskevich trying to help his own cause.
You mentioned walk-on at Michigan, and that's something because Matt Green had opportunity to go play scholarship baseball somewhere, but he really prioritizes his academics. He's wanted to be a Wolverine for a long time, for many years. We had many conversations about it last summer, and you know, Michigan came and watched him a few times before they decided that he was the right fit for them as a walk-on, and they are lucky to get him the way that they got him.
So here is Parker Bruskevich, who started the baseball game for St. Mary's and went, well, let's get to his numbers. He started and had a good line. He's in line for his 3rd win of the year. Bruskevich, 4 innings, 3 hits, 3 runs, 2 of them earned. 9 strikeouts and 2 walks. But now he's into pinch hit for Vincent Cowdery.
2 non-competitive pitches there from Green. Got to be somewhere around the zone in one of those 2. Now Parker probably has a 3-1 green light. Sure does. Yep.
Popped it up, trusted with a bat. Petrie gives him the green light. And I like this rule where kids can re-enter the game after pitching.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, you know, especially when, you know, you got Parker Bruskevich just hanging out there in the dugout.
Yeah.
But that's the example we're trying to make here is that you saw 2 balls, 3-1 count, and these Eaglets, and Liggett too, they'll sit on that fastball.
Fouled away again. McKay will head back to second. Aiden Donovan, who's on to run, will head back to first for Parker Brustevich.
And that's why you give them the green light. You know, these kids, they have the IQ. You're able to, we said it earlier, coaches can coach the practice, players can play the game, and, you know, the Eaglets and the Knights both are talented enough and have the instincts to do that. That's a beautiful pitch.
That is a sharp cheddar slider taken for a strikeout.
How about Matthew Green?
Man, 6 strikeouts on the day in just less than 3 innings pitched.
He has come in.
They found something here.
I mean, goodness gracious. He's completely transformed who he is on the mound, and I don't know if he'll ever throw at Michigan. I would assume no. But if you're watching this game right now, it's hard to not think, hey, maybe we should try that out when he gets here.
There's a pitch that's taken low. We're outside.
Yeah, Matthew Green knows what he's seen here in Ryan Mooney. Ryan Mooney's been fooled a couple of times in those pitches today, but wise to lay off on that one. He's seen that movement several times today and has picked up on it there. We'll see. This is probably a fastball count. We'll see what he sits on.
Throw back to shortstop Purify. Ryan Mooney talking to the catcher Oliver Service, saying what's going on there?
See here, 2-1 count. Probably a fastball. Get me over type of deal.
Yeah.
No, he's going to stick now. He's sticking with the off speed because Mooney struggled with it today, right? So that's the strategy here. They've done the same thing with Schubert. There's a clear plan for certain hitters. You saw the shift on Irish. They've done their homework.
But you go 2-0 on him. You go 2-0 on a guy at 9 in the lineup with the leadoff man looming. And now he walks him.
And now you go back to the top of Dresselhaus. That's tough because I get it. I understand what you're trying to do. You fooled Mooney a few times today as it is. But that first miss was a non-competitive miss.
Yeah.
You got to come back with a fastball to get you over and get into that 2-2 count because then you had the forgiveness of 2 pitches to make up for it, right? If you want to come back with the off-speed in the third one and miss, you're still in a full count.
Yep.
You miss with it a second time back-to-back, you're in that count, and now you want to throw a fastball, but you can't leave it over the plate because they're sitting on it. You know what I'm saying? You just make your job harder.
Here is Jake Dresselhaus.
But guess what? He's right back at it with a curveball right down the plate.
He says, I don't care. I'm going right back to it.
Fearless.
That's confidence.
Yeah, he's got a ton of it.
Oh, boy. Shadows have cast. The sun is setting. Beautiful backdrop here of the Grosse Pointe neighborhood.
Wow. Now, if Service doesn't move his body as much as he did, he might have had strike 3. It's really important as a catcher to be still. It's really important because a lot of catchers will make a movement based on the first movement of the pitch. You got to stay where you're at until the last movement, and I think the movement might have taken them out of that one.
The 1-1 is cut on and missed. Dresselhaus out on strikes, and St. Mary's is held scoreless despite jamming the bases full. Big pitch and big out for Matthew Green. Get a look here at the strikeout.
Just beautiful.
And regathers and holds the Eaglets down. Here comes Liggett in the 6th. They've got 6 outs to work with, down by 3.
Begin with your dream, your drive, your grit, the heart and vision of every member of your team. We take it all, and from those threads of greatness, we weave a uniform of a champion. In many ways, our sport is just like yours. We've brought together a team of elite designers. We've put in the time and the sweat, perfecting our craft over 14 years. We've outfitted thousands of teams for thousands of victories, approaching each new project, each new game, like it's the only one we'll ever play. And let's be honest, we've done it all with a quality so unmatched that some can't help but call it perfection. You know, it's more than just a shirt. Look like a champion, play like a champion. A champion powered by the G. Hashtag G-Brand USA. G-Brand USA. Elite design, unmatched quality, American pride. We're proudly made in the USA.
You look at the impact players for the Liggett Knights, who have made 9 title appearances, tied for first most all-time in MHSAA history with Blissfield, Purify, Jack Jones, Kurt Barr, Reggie Sharp. These guys have been all over the place today and all season long. Some promising Division I recruits. And Purify with a home run today to get things going for Liggett. And they're down just 3 here as we head to the bottom half of the 6th. Chad Bush and Brandon. I keep wanting to call you Brandon Jennings. I have to think about it every time. Brandon Justice.
Yeah, it's hard to look at me and not think about Brandon Jennings, so I completely understand.
You just scream NBA combo guard to me.
Yeah.
G League combo guard.
You should see me in the LA Fitness gym. I also look like Brandon Jennings there.
Oh, that's awesome. Pitch on the outside corner. This is Jason Oliver, who did so well and had so much fun in Game 1 on the mound. He's going to check in here in Game 2.
Yeah, he works quick. Yep.
Fastball taken for a strike. Oliver, a two-way guy. He's had a nice way with the bat today. 5 hits, 3 RBIs. And in Game 1, he pitched an inning and had 2 strikeouts, and he's off to a fast start here as he Ks Preston Barr to start the 6th.
Yeah, this is what's difficult about hitting off of Jason Oliver. You're going to see his windup. It works really quickly. And when the ball comes out just as fast, it makes it even all the more difficult. Typically, you'll see guys with a slow windup. Oliver is not that guy. He creates a lot of momentum into his leg lift, which creates the velocity in the throw, just like that.
Working quick, fires by Randazzo on the inside corner.
He's got tree trunks underneath those pants. Those quads are probably squatting somewhere north of 300, I would imagine.
There's a chopper to short. Charging is McKay. Throw to first to Grimmer. And there's quickly 2 outs here in the 6th for Liggett.
Yep, Death Texas, Ryan McKay. He's as consistent as they come. That ball bounces. There's not a breath being held in the St. Mary's dugout. Plays second base for him. But when Oliver comes in the mound, you can put him at short, and he can do the job and then some. Played shortstop for us all of last summer. Did a terrific job.
Is that right?
I don't think he made an error.
There's a base hit to left. It'll be the 2nd hit of the day for Purify. But it's a 2-out single, and that'll bring up Reggie Sharp, the second baseman.
Yeah, it's a good approach there from Purify because Oliver has started both batters out with strikes. He knew going up there with the 2-out inning, he really had nothing to lose there. Got aggressive and gave him a base runner because of it. Let's see if Reggie Sharp can get hot today. Been waiting on nice little gapper here from Reggie. See if he can find it.
The second baseman awaits the Oliver pitch, and it's fisted to the middle of the diamond. This should be out number 3. Minnie McKay handles it. And it's 3 outs and 4 batters for Liggett. We go to the top of the 7th. Stand up. Let's stretch it out. The final inning. Oh, the bones are creaking. It hurts. Warm me up.
The innocence of youth. Is there anything any better? But soon they'll be in high school and facing all the same challenges you faced. How to make friends, how to fit in, how to be cool. We want our children to have everything they'll need to live fulfilling and productive lives. Make sure the kids in your family are among the more than 300,000 participants here in Michigan who take part in high school sports.
And just like that, this thing's over. The umpires got together, so did the head coaches, and it's been revealed that this thing is over. It's too dark or too cold or both. And the decision's been made, and St. Mary's has swept Grosse Pointe Liggett, and they go to 11-0. Liggett moves to 3-3. Chad Bush and Brandon Justice back with you from Liggett Field. Thanks for watching today's doubleheader. Brandon ends quickly, ends abruptly, but St. Mary's was in control of this game since the start of this first inning when it was 2-2. They went on a nice 6-0 run, and Liggett could never catch up.
Yeah, and that seems to be the theme here for St. Mary's. They are just a dominant team on both sides of the ball. Brock Porter controlled the first game, set the pace for them. A little bit of a slow start at the plate, but once they started to find barrels there in the middle half of the first game, the rest was sort of history, and everything just kind of built up from there. They gave Liggett a chance to crawl back in that first game, but shut it down quickly. And then in the, let's see here, Mike Irish, that was when he went the other way on the shift. That's been the story of the day. This team, IQ-wise, is on a different level, talent-wise on a different level. And, no discredit to Liggett, who's going to win a lot of ball games this year and can probably beat every team in the state. But, Orchard Lake, just too much firepower on the offensive side of the ball to contain Liggett, who did a good job with the bats in the second game. But the power behind Blake Grimmer, the power behind Ike Irish, Jason Oliver, it's just all over for St. Mary's, and it's too much to handle today for Liggett.
3 home runs for St. Mary's, Dresselhaus, Oliver, and Grimmer. A home run also for Liggett. They went along with Purify, who had 2 hits in the game, to go with an RBI. And Liggett would also get an RBI from Service and from Jones. But the Eaglets would get Parker Brustevich enough run support, and he would go 4 innings, 9 strikeouts, and collect his 3rd win of the year. Skorupski on with an inning of relief that was a 1 run given up. Oliver on with a clean 9th. And St. Mary's goes on to win behind Grimmer's 3 RBIs and Oliver's 3 RBIs. What a series for Oliver and Grimmer. And the starting pitching was good as well with Brustevich and Porter in game 1.
Yeah, Brock Porter was as advertised, right? Everything we've heard he is exactly what he was today. And you saw in that last inning in his appearance, it was just fastball. He had built up that confidence. He knew what he was able to do with those bats. And, that's the story of his career so far, and as far as the MHSAA goes. He's able to work on things, right? It's almost like he's having fun with it. He's like, okay, is this pitch going to work today, or is this going to work better, or what kind of sequence can I work with? He's able to do that, and you saw that last inning where he needed to kind of buckle down, and that's what he did, just fastball, send him packing. And so Brock Porter was dominant. And then out of the bats from St. Mary's, there's just so much versatility in this lineup from top to bottom. Jason Oliver was near, I think, the 7 or 8 hole in that first game, and Blake Grimmer was, behind Minnie McKay in the 6 hole, and he's your, G of the game last game, and it carried over into this game as well in game 2, where Oliver was able to go yard and Grimmer was able to find ground, and Ike Irish was having a little fun going the other way on shifts. So, that's the type of ball club that this is with the Eaglets. They are top to bottom, hitting the ball so well, carrying off the momentum they've created coming into the season based on last year and carrying it now. And, this is, in my opinion, Liggett is the best team they're going to face. They did not see I think that when they play against Grand Blanc at the end of the year and they see David Lally, they'll be challenged. But this was certainly the test for Orchard Lake early on.
He is Brandon Justice. Time to introduce the rest of our crew. Thank you, Brandon. You did a great job.
Appreciate it.
We're going to have you back. St. Mary's wins 7-2 in game 1. They win 8-5 in game 2. The Eaglets have now won 33 games in a row, dating back to last year. They improved to 11-0. Liggett falls twice. They go to 3-3. As Brandon said, they're the number 2 team in the state, and they'll be back. These 2 teams will face off again this year in Orchard Lake. We'll have coverage of that on May the 7th. A lot of fun to be had in between then. St. Mary's will head to Cleveland. They'll take on St. Ignatius tomorrow. First pitch expected at 5 o'clock. In the mistake by the lake, St. Ignatius, I'm kidding. I was waiting for you, Brandon. The fine folks at St. Ignatius. They've already been on here twice. They've been on the lacrosse coverage as well. Time to say thank you to our great crew, captained by Alex Westfall, your executive producer, Brandon Cardenas, your replay coordinator, Alex Johnson is our graphics coordinator today. How about that? Yeah, big title for him. Also want to thank Pat the Stat, running a gun, running stats, running to his car. We appreciate it very much. Bradley Ross making his prep debut on camera. Devin Schweitzer on the camera as well. How about stand up for the camera guys? Doing great work. Guys, stand up. Yeah, thank you. Tough to stand out there in this kind of weather. Sam Fisher on audio, also on center field camera at times. And want to thank, where's our creative team? James Ferris, Julia Pisano, our hardworking creative team. My name is Chad Bush. Once again, for my partner, Brandon Justice. We'll talk to you on Monday from Detroit Country Day. Don't forget to follow us. We've got our soccer debut tomorrow from Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Rebel FC will be on the air at 7:30 with Jonathan Turner. And then we'll have Flint United basketball on Friday and Saturday. Glad you're with us. Thanks for watching. We are The Prep. My name's Chad Bush. Good night, everybody.